Mariners spring training on Root Sports is presented by Magic Toyota. Right on Highway 99 in Edmonds.
Well, this should help you get ready for opening day. These same two teams will go at it on March 29th at Safeco Field, although Seattle will not see Corey Kluber on the hill for the Tribe today. It's the Mariners and the Indians down in Peoria. So glad you could join us. Angie Mentink here along with our baseball analyst Ryan Rowland-Smith. And I have found the upside, Ryan, to all of these Mariners injuries this spring, and that is they happened early in spring, so they had time to get back.
That's right. That happened early in spring, and they happened at a place where you have backfields. You've got about 5 trainers. So this is a good time to have those little nagging injuries that seem to keep popping up. But everyone's getting back. So we're going to see Felix is on the mound on a backfield today. Ichiro Suzuki getting back in there tomorrow on a backfield. Cano, Cruz doing some minor league games. So I think they're going to be okay by opening day. And
again, we saw Ryan Healy in the lineup for the first time yesterday. That was fantastic. So while several of the guys taking baby steps towards getting back in the lineup, this is how they will get after it today. Guillermo Heredia will lead things off. Then you've got Haniger, and we continue to see Kyle Seager bat third with Cano getting healthy. Important, again, to see Ryan Healy back out there for the first time yesterday. He's back out there again today. Mike Ford continues his audition, and it's a similar story for Mike Margema. Now, one guy not in the lineup today is Dee Gordon, and he's earned a day off after tirelessly working to learn a brand new position this spring. The new fan favorite took some time to catch up on his development with the guy calling today's game, Dave Sims.
All right, the education of Dee Gordon as a center fielder, how is it progressing?
It's going well. Just trying to help, learn things as quickly as possible. Be ready for opening day.
I like the fact that when we spoke last week, you said you're out here during batting practice, so you get a chance to see all kinds of balls.
Yeah, just trying to, get most reps as I can. It's better to see it off the bat than out of machine, so just want to see it off the bat as much as possible.
What have you improved on so far?
Throwing. My throwing's gotten really good.
Get your crow hop down?
Yeah, I finally got it down.
Did you have to look at somebody else maybe to get a feel on how to do it, or did it just naturally come to you?
Just was working on it when we first got here some more, and then it just kind of clicked.
All right, what's your comfort level right now?
I'm never comfortable.
What do you mean?
Never comfortable. I never take anything for granted, so not going to get comfortable anywhere.
Let me ask you this about the bunt game. When did you get that? When did you develop that? How did that develop for you?
I don't know. I just always done it when I needed to, and just trying to get better and better at it every day.
He is adorable, and I want to pinch his cheeks like my grandmother used to do. As impressed as I am with his personality, I am equally in awe, though, at how he has transitioned into a center fielder, Ryan.
Well, it looks like he's been playing center field all along, and it's not an easy feat to go from being a second baseman to a center fielder, and the big part of that, he mentioned the crow hop. That's one thing coming into camp he really wanted to get locked in was the crow hop, but he's so athletic. Obviously, he covers so much ground, but also the baseball instincts. You can see right here the pick. He was already busting in as that throw came from Marco Gonzalez, and look at that throw. There's nothing wrong with that crow hop and that throw and the arm at all, but you look back at guys like Adam Jones, who had to make that transition from the infield to the outfield, obviously a lot early in his career. It can be tough after you win a couple Gold Gloves as a second baseman to be asked, hey, look, we're going to put you in the center field. But he's embraced it, and that's huge. It's huge for the team chemistry, being a good teammate, obviously moving out there. But man, he looks really comfortable right now. But like he said, he's never comfortable. But
his angles are so good too. I mean, his angles to the ball, and I mean, it helps that he was a second baseman. His skill set translates nicely to center field, and specifically his speed, and it is going to be a blast to watch that speed leave the batter's box this season. Yeah, it is, and this is such a dynamic lineup, and it was even before Dee Gordon got over here, but just see what he brings to the table, and you look at, you see the third baseman in that shot right there coming in because he has to defend against that bunt, which Dee Gordon is so good at doing. But not only does a single turn into a runner in scoring position because he can steal that bag, 60 stolen bags last year, but also what that does to the quality of pitch. There is nothing worse when you've got a guy like Dee Gordon at first base with that kind of speed, trying to put in quality pitches when you're facing a guy like
Nelson Cruz, Robbie Cano. So that's a big part of this as well. But, you know, when you look at what they had last year, Gerard Dyson was a speed guy. But you're looking now, this is a huge upgrade, 50 points on top of that batting average. D. Gordon hitting around 300. So not only is it speed, but a ton of offense to go with it.
And I love to watch him lay down bunts and just go. I mean, he is just putting on a clinic on bunting. First pitch, it's coming up in just a few minutes. On the other side of the break, we're going to take a closer look at the numbers that today's starting pitcher, Rob Whalen, is putting up down in Arizona and try to figure out where he best fits on this team. Straight ahead on Root Sports. Quorum's Puyallup Nissan. Car buying is easy as Sunday morning. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. We are getting set for the Mariners against the Cleveland Indians, and this is how Terry Francona is going to go at it today. Tyler Naquin at the top in center field. Yan Gomes will be doing the catching. Lonnie Chisenhall is out in right. Edwin Encarnacion at first. Yonder Alonso, the former Mariner, will be doing the DHing today. And the Indians, we'll see Rob Whalen out on the hill. It's our Lexus pitching matchup. On the other side, it's Mike Clevenger, or by his nickname, this is real, Sunshine. All right, back to Whalen, though, Ryan. He's got an ERA of just 1.38, and that's nearly impossible to do down in Arizona. He has been awfully good. Yeah, he's been really good, and you see some crazy scores out there, like you said, but, man, he looks like he's in mid-season form, and he has really been the story of the camp up until this point to show what he's capable of and what the potential may be, and he's really pitching himself into the conversation with the injuries and everything, and also too, you know, with the stuff. He came into camp with a completely different mindset. You heard he had some, you know, issues mentally last year with what was going on.
But, you know, showing up with so much presence, and he looks good, and he's going to be a force at some point, if it's not opening day, at some point this season.
It's going to be fun to watch. And, you know, there's guys in the lineup it'll be interesting to see today. Guys like Mike Marjama and Ford as well, who are kind of running out of opportunities to make that lasting impression. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out today. But let's get it down to the guys who will call it. Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. Gentlemen.
All right, Angie, thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Another glorious day here in Peoria, Arizona for your Seattle Mariners. Look at this weather. Look at these conditions. The folks are piling into the ballpark, 65 degrees right now. Yesterday, we had a huge crowd, 11,364. The berm was packed totally. We're probably going to have the same thing here this afternoon. Michael, good to be back with you after a week over on radio with Rico.
It's good to have you. I didn't notice if you had your green on yesterday, but there was a lot of green in this ballpark yesterday.
Dude, some lady got me as I'm coming through security. You cannot do this ball game without your green bead. So I was good.
Okay,
I was good.
There you go.
Let's see what Rob Whalen has in store for us today. This is his 5th game, 4th start, and he has indeed been a tremendous story. He's got Tyler Naquin leading off. First pitch is in there for a strike. Lance Barrett's got balls and strikes today. Adrian Johnson, Scott Barry, Gabe Morales on the bases. Tribe comes in with a 13-10-2 record. They got a split squad playing in Las Vegas against the Cubs. Swing and a foul tip. Naquin last year in his age 26 season had just 37 at-bats, .216 batting average. He's in center field today. Infield tilted just a little bit towards the right. Breaking ball. Right center field, base hit. Naquin going to go for 2. Here's the throw to second. He's in safely. The breaking ball has been a good friend for Whalen so far this spring.
I don't know. Were you at his last outing? The one?
Yep.
Yes, it was a tremendous pitch for him in his last outing. If you look at his overall numbers this spring, 13 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, and a big reason is the curveball. He will mix in a cutter at about 88. His fastball sits 90 to 92 miles an hour, but his curveball, as Scott Service said a couple of days ago, that's the best breaking ball he has seen the entire spring from anybody. That's how good his curveball was. It is a 12-6 curveball. He can throw it for a strike. He'll also bounce it off the plate to get him to chase it. He's trying to stay in the mix for that 5th starter with Ramirez. Hasn't thrown a baseball yet. I know that they won't need a starter until, I believe, April 14th. And with the way that Marco Gonzalez has been pitching this spring, Marco has been outstanding this spring. But Rob's in the mix, 24 years old. And, again, keep an eye on that curveball today.
9 strikeouts in his last outing at Colorado as he faces Jan Gomes, a veteran catcher. And the thing that stood out when we were speaking with Scott Service the other day is how over the years we've heard how difficult it is to throw a curveball down here, and his has been sharp. That one stayed up. Heredia will get under it. Wind blowing out towards right center field. Naquin bluffs. And Heredia, as we know, has the good and accurate arm. One down.
Yeah, he has a plus arm in center field.
There's Guillermo, valuable member of this outfield crew for the Mariners. Play all 3 positions and play it well. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. Chisenhall, a .288 hitter, 12 homers, 53 runs batted in last year. Pretty versatile guy. We saw him at third base early on in his career. Made himself a pretty good outfielder. Wind blowing out towards right. Pitch down low. Mariners across the infield. Seager, Bonner, Vincey, and Healy. The outfield of Ian Miller, Heredia, and Mitch Haniger. And Mike Marjama behind the plate.
I was talking to Rob about his curveball. And we constantly talk about how major league players make adjustments, make changes, and we'll talk about a lot of guys that are probably in the lineup today and maybe even some of the relievers that'll pitch after Rob. But I was asking about the curveball and how good it was the other day. And he said that he has never changed the way he throws his curveball since he was 10 years old when his dad taught it to him.
There you go.
Yep. So
Rob's out of East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, 102 miles north of Philly, 75 miles west of New York City. Acquired from Atlanta with Max Posey for Alex Jackson, November of 2016. Ryan Roland Smith detailed he bout with depression last year, and he has got a tremendous amount of help. He basically shut it down at a point last year. Here's a 1-1. Pitch outside. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was freely talking about, there's a visit, struck that one down, he had a terrible start in Boston. Felt like the walls were closing in on him. He felt like everybody, the fans at Fenway Park were all of them, and he just had a very bad performance. But he sought help, got help. His family enjoying themselves here on a great Sunday afternoon. He got help, and he feels tremendous. He feels like he's dug himself out of a hole. He's helped others in his coming out with it, and it's meant a lot to him, and he's helped others, which is it's a good note on him.
I know Mel Stottlemyre was talking about it, and he just said his overall confidence in the spring this year is completely different, and you can see it by the numbers he's put up out on the mound.
Ground ball, first base, Ryan Healy. Second game of the spring. 2 down, runner to third. All right, here is Edwin Encarnacion. You look at Rob Whalen. Eddie E. This guy can hit. 34 years old. He hit .258 last year. 38 home runs, 107 runs batted in. During his time with the Blue Jays, how many times did he go restaurant, upper middle deck center field?
Not too many.
Pitch outside. He is a big-time power hitter, even at this stage of his career.
Down and away is probably a pretty good idea with him at the plate. He misses with that first cut fastball away from him.
I hear you. No question about it. 2 down, runner at third. Head hard up the middle, 1-0 Cleveland. Encarnacion with his 5th RBI of the spring. So Naquin scores. 2 outs, runner at first, and I'll bring up Yonder Alonso, who finished up last season with the Mariners after being with the Athletics. Got his number 17 back. Put the shift on for Yonder. He hit a big home run for the Mariners last August in Yankee Stadium, straightaway center field. That was a blast. Ball 1 to Yonder. Born in Cuba, moved to the United States when he was 10 years old. Coral Gables High School, played with same high school that produced Mike Lowell. Played at the University of Miami. First team All-American. Breaking ball for a strike.
It was a little better curveball. In the first inning, it doesn't seem to have the same bite on it that he had the other day against the Rockies. Better location on the last one on the outside corner.
Yonder 6 home runs in 42 games, 265 for the Mariners. Career best 28 home runs on the season, 22 with Oakland. Here's the 1-1. Ripped. And there's the value of the shift. The second baseman, more like a softball extra outfielder than Zach Vinci. Tribe gets a run on the board. Mariners coming to bat.
Spring is coming.
Arizona. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew with you. Blue sky above in the distance, some puffy cumulus clouds. You look at Mike Clevenger, 27-year-old out of Jacksonville, Florida, 4th-round pick of the Angels back in 2011. Good year last year, 12-6, 3.11 ERA for the Tribe that won 102 games, second only to the Dodgers in the major leagues. And this was a starting rotation that had 5 guys in double figures. Kluber 18-4, Carrasco 18-6, Trevor Bauer 17-9, Clevenger at 12-6, and Josh Tomlin at 10-9. Here's Guillermo Heredia to lead it off. 227 so far in the spring. First pitch strike.
He's been better lately. Ended up having to sit out for a while because of the surgery on his shoulder. Started off DHing a little bit, slow start for him, but starting to pick it up, squaring the ball up a little bit more.
Cover some outfield as we detailed in the top half of the inning.
Clevenger rushing it up there here in the first. 95 miles an hour on that last fastball.
Nasty breaking ball. Ball and 2 strikes. Cleveland favored to win the Central Division again. They won 102 games, lost 60. Won the division by 17 games over second place Minnesota. Two and two to Guillermo. And have Scott Service on top of the 3rd inning. Look forward to talking to him so you folks heard as Guillermo swings through. Get an idea of when some of the big names in this Mariner Ball Club will be returning to action. One away.
I think we're hoping that most of them will be Wednesday. Mariners and everybody have a day off on Tuesday. So the night game tomorrow.
Over at the Angels.
Yep. And then the day off on Tuesday. So
breaking ball for strike. Hoping to see Mike Trout tomorrow, and also I hope maybe Ohtani will be in the lineup as a hitter.
Really?
He's struggling. I'm hoping to see him tomorrow.
Oh, you're hoping to see him.
He got lit up 2 days ago at the mound.
Yeah, he's having a tough time.
Yep, and struggling at the bat as well. 1-1 to Mitch Haniger. Mitch in his 7th game at tendonitis right hand. Swing and a miss. Hit a big home run straightaway center field a few nights ago.
The last couple of games have been better for him.
And he's got 8 Ks so far.
And he started off 0 for 7, just trying to get his timing back after missing a bunch of time.
Breaking ball. He's got it working. Mike Clevenger, 2 down.
That's the tough part. You have a pitcher that's out there throwing 95, 96 miles an hour, and the first 2 hitters, and Heredia and Haniger are guys that missed a bunch of time here in the spring. So trying to recognize a slider and being prepared to hit a fastball that's in there at 95 is going to take a little bit of time for them. They're not quite ready for that yet.
Calendar's favorable right now, Michael, at March 18th.
Yes.
Here's Kyle Seager. He hit a high distance carrying home run. I think it got a little bit over the berm right field yesterday.
Yeah, his first home run of the spring. Kyle's had a solid spring so far, using the entire field.
286 a homer, 2 runs batted in. 10 for 35. He's got 3 doubles. Oh, and 2 here, Kyle Seager, who, by the way, I mentioned this on radio yesterday. Couldn't have been more thrilled that the Virginia Cavaliers went down to defeat the other day. He's a North Carolina Tar Heel. He was absolutely giddy since Carolina had lost to Virginia ACC tournament. 0-2. Chris Prieto showing some hops down there, getting out of the way.
Chris, the new first base coach. Happy to have a uniform on.
He was doing a fine job as the guy in charge of video, quality control coach, and telling Scott Service when and when not to appeal after taking a look at close plays and video. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 here in the first. Back with more action right after this. Mariners blue, you got it. And a baby. How big is you, huh? Hail and hearty welcome to Brian DeLunas, new bullpen coach for the Mariners, St. Louis born. Good to have you, Brian. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, there's a lot to like with those arms you have down there in that pen. Now, give us your early impressions joining this group.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, we got a lot of guys down there that got a lot of experience and, you know, veteran presence, and then we've got some young guys who bring a lot to the table as well. So it's been a great group to work with.
Have you found a place to live yet?
Yeah, you know what? I found a place yesterday. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go studio.
Nice, very good. Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
First time around in the big leagues as a coach, and you got to be excited about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Jerry and Jeff and Skipper and you know those guys having faith in me to bring me on is amazing, and it's fun, and you know, can't say enough about it. This is a tremendous experience.
Where had you met those guys? I mean, did you cross paths with some of those guys over the last few years?
No, you know, so a little bit of it was I had worked with David Phelps in the private sector, and you know, so through that I got put in touch with Jeff Kingston, and we were kind of talking about his rehab process and where he was and everything, and we just hit it off. And you know, Skip had been looking for a bullpen guy, and conversations just kind of went from there, and it went really well. So, yeah, that was my first interaction with the Seattle as a whole, and you know, kind of took off quick.
I know that you've been busy, as most springs are, especially when you're talking about the amount of arms that you're having to get ready on a daily basis. But have you had a chance to talk to Scott about some of the things that he's going to be talking to you about when the season starts and getting guys ready, or when guys are not going to be available, and just kind of getting all that mapped out?
Yeah, a little bit in terms of the, you know, the advanced scouting, the team that we have in place. It's part of why Jim Brower is brought on as well. Looking forward to that whole you know, piece of this puzzle coming together. You know, Jim, Emmanuel does a great job. I'll be in there, obviously, but I'm looking forward to just how we use the bullpen and you know, how that'll all come about.
Obviously, there's some big-time arms out there. It seems that everybody throws 95+, which is a nice luxury to have, a deep bullpen also. But one of the guys that has been really impressive to me is Dan Altavilla. And Dan is a guy that was a starter a few years ago. Everybody's familiar with the big arm that he has, but he seems to have put everything together. What's impressed you this spring about Dan?
Yeah, I think just the biggest thing is just attacking the plate with his stuff. You know, we kind of categorize each guy as to, you know, are they an in-and-out guy, or are they an up-and-down guy, or are they, you know, kind of a push-and-pull type of guy. And, you know, Danny's just kind of a guy who attacks the plate, and he's got really good stuff. You know, some of the advanced analytics that we use, you know, favor him and his ability to use the fastball up in the zone sometimes. But I think his ability to ride that fastball at the bottom of the zone, and then he can just put it by guys at the top. So it's been awesome. You know, he had a little bit of a hiccup, you know, 2 outings ago, and I thought the coolest thing was that he just came right back at him that next outing. You know, was able to flush it right away and get right back on the horse.
Rob Whalen just recorded back-to-back strikeouts on nasty breaking balls.
You got to keep me on here then.
Yeah. No problem.
Hey, Brian, let me tell you, nasty stuff.
Yeah,
nasty.
yeah.
Hey, tell us, we're really excited about having acquired Juan Nicasio. Tell us what you've seen to this point.
Yeah, Juan's interesting. I mean, he's, you know, obviously a veteran guy. He's got his own approach to it. You know, I was a little bit surprised. He tends to throw a little bit more in the bullpen than some of the guys, but he just kind of takes one pace and then he gets out to the game. I think you're going to see the arm continue to speed up a little bit. It's been a little bit, you know, I don't want to say slower, but, you know, it's not that typical 96, 97 that you're used to seeing once the season starts. But, you know, he's been great, man. He took all of us out right away. Like first week, second week.
Veteran move.
Yeah, veteran move. Took us all to the steakhouse and took care of us. You know, and you know, again, it just, as far as the bullpen goes, he adds a lot of stability back there.
I noticed that the last 3 or 4 days, there's been a number of guys, and I believe Juan was one of them, where they came in the game, had a chance to sit down and go back out there again. When at what point in spring are we where you're going to see guys go back-to-back days?
Yeah, we're right there right now. We're kind of mixing that in with some guys going multiples, as Stott will call it. You know, they'll come in and close an inning and then go back out for the next inning. You're going to see some guys. Juan is actually going to go today, so this will be his first back-to-back. He went yesterday, got an out, and then he's going to, you know, we anticipate him going a full inning today. So we're right there right now, just kind of piecing it together, and then we'll kind of taper down from that a little bit to get those guys ready to be, you know, once the season opener comes around.
Brian, last question. Ryan Cook trying to make the comeback, an all-star a few years ago. How's he looking?
Dude, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And a huge fan. You know, he brings a lot, and he's again, one of those guys that is just awesome to have in the bullpen down there. Veteran presence. Nothing phases him. He's kind of been there, done that. Stuff-wise, really, really good. Some heavy sink. You know, again, coming back from the injuries, I think early on he was wanting to kind of flip the slider in there. Once he got to the point where he's going to throw it and throw it with good hand speed, he's fallen into place really well. It's awesome having him on board.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Brian, hey, good talking to you, man, and all the best. Thanks so much,
Absolutely.
and welcome aboard.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. Brian DeLunas, new bullpen coach for the Mariners. 2 out, runner at first. A couple of nasty breaking balls struck out Ruff Snyder and Ursula.
You can see why the organization likes Brian a lot. He's on it.
Mm-hmm. It's good to hear about Ryan Cook. Here's a guy who all-star back in 2012.
Yeah.
And, you know, name and injury, I think he's had it. Whalen trying to get the third out here. Eric Gonzalez, shortstop. So 0-2 here. 2 out. Runner at first. Tribe with a 1-0 lead. Encarnacion with an RBI single up the middle. Long hold by Rob. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, charging his Motter. Goes to first, and Healy can't hold on. Good base hit. Slow rollers are murder when you're trying to get that third out. Guy who can run a little bit.
And for Motter, shortstop is his natural position, and he's really played well this spring. Just too much speed, trying to get rid of it quickly. Didn't have a lot of time. Really not able to handle it. He's played well defensively.
But back to the top of the order for the Indians. They have runners at first and second. Here's Tyler Naquin for the second time. Double to right center field. Hustle double. Nine hits, 36 at-bats now here for Naquin. He's got supreme confidence in that breaking ball. Throwing at a high frequency.
Yeah.
Reminded me the other day on radio when we were over in Colorado. It's like when we see McCullers, he just stays with it.
Yeah.
That's McCullers with the world champion Astros. Counted 0-1.
I think the location and even some of the bite on his curveball today isn't quite as consistent as it was when he was against the Rockies.
I'll tell you what, and to do that against the Rockies, a very good hitting club. It's impressive.
And they had a big league lineup out there.
Yes, he did. He went 5 innings, and he saw Blackman, LeMahieu, Arenado, Desmond, Iannetta. Yeah. Hit hard through the hole, right field. Haniger up with it. Runner being waved. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off by Healy. Throw to third, in there safely. 2-0 Tribe. 2-hit day for Tyler Naquin. Picks up an RBI, his 5th. Scoring from second was Schaefer. Runner going first to third was Gonzalez.
Solid base hit. You can see Haniger playing deep in right field. Took him a little bit of time to get to the ball. Strong throw, just a little bit off line, so Healy had to cut it.
So here's Yan Gomes, the catcher. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Strike 1. Gomes slide out to center, first time up. We will see plenty of Cleveland in the month of April. Oh, and that gets away from Healy. Another run's going to score, make it 3-0. So at E1. See Cleveland open up the home season. Let's take a look at this. Replaying a little bit in the dirt and a little bit out of reach of Ryan Healy.
You could almost tell by Rob's reaction right away. He knew that was going to be a poor throw.
Oh, 1 pitch here to Gomes. Breaking ball, hammered, left field, down the line, trouble, bangs off the fence. In full steam is Naquin getting a wave on. And there will be no throw. RBI double Yan Gomes. 3-run inning for the Tribe, a 4-0 lead for Gomes. 9th hit of the spring. RBI number 8.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about with the curveball. You can see it's above the belt and in the middle of the plate. It's kind of rolling up there. Just doesn't have the same bite today. Fortunately, that stayed in the ballpark. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out at the mound having a conversation with him.
Hey, Mariner fans, come together to welcome back baseball on Thursday, March 29th with opening night at Safeco Field. All fans in attendance will receive a 2018 magnetic schedule courtesy of Safeco Insurance as the Mariners host these Indians at 7:10. For tickets, visit mariners.com. See the Tribe on the 29th of March, 31st and April 1st. And then we'll finish out the season series with them the last weekend of April 26th through the 30th in Ohio. Talking to Jim Rosenhaus, who's doing a radio game with Tim Belcher today. Rosie, how should we dress for late April? Warmly.
It's good to see Tim Belcher today. Came by the booth to say hello. He's doing a little bit of everything for the Indians. Some broadcasting on radio, doing some coaching.
17 years, he said he's been in it with the organization.
Some scouting.
Dodgers, Mariners, among some of the teams he played for.
Yep.
Chisenhall got a piece of it. Count goes to 1-1. Lonnie grounded out to Healy at first.
As far as intensity on the mound, Tim Belcher is right up there at the top of the list as far as teammates of mine.
Whalen trying to shut it down right here. 1-2. Breaking ball down and in on Chisenhall. Mentioned Cleveland got a split squad playing up in Las Vegas against the Cubs, back-to-back days. 1-2 pitch, runner at second. Margema stays with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Felix Hernandez scheduled for a workout tomorrow. Maybe more than likely a minor league game. We'll get that confirmed with the skipper Scott Service coming up shortly. 2-2. Pitch from Whalen.
He's having to throw a lot of pitches. Next pitch will be 40. Working here in the second.
Two and two. 2 outs, runner at second. That's a wild pitch. Runner to third. But hit him.
Yeah, hit him. Probably his back foot. And another breaking ball. Yeah, right off the toe.
But the story in Cleveland where they had a lot of success, obviously, a couple of years ago with veteran Mike Napoli. And Terry Francona brought him in basically to showcase him. He had a home run last night. He had a typical Napoli home run pitch. Fastball, let her high, got on top of it, and drove it way out ballpark in Vegas.
They can still do that.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then the post-game comments, that's what Terry said. Somebody says, we really don't have room for him, but he can still play. Encarnacion and Alonso will be sharing first base DH duties inside. 1-1. Encarnacion, the 8th man to the plate. So what a difference a start makes. 9 strikeouts at Colorado in his last outing and all kinds of trouble here today. 4 runs on 5 hits.
And you can see even right there, it just does not have the same bite or command of the breaking ball. It was such a big pitch for him. Well, that's why they call it spring training.
You betcha. Advantage right now, Encarnacion, a 2-1 count. Couple of men aboard. Fought it off. Wow. Their day's made.
Doing a pretty good job sharing.
Yep. Hope they got a lot of wet towelettes or something. A big towel and a bucket of water. 2-2 pitch here. Marjma smothers that.
And he's getting a workout today with the amount of curveballs that Whalen is throwing. Doing a pretty good job keeping the ball in front of him.
Encarnacion, one of the really fine power hitters. 255 career hitter against the Mariners with 15 homers and 39 runs batted in over his career. 3-2 pitch, runners go. Pitch fought off again, look out. When we get home, some of the new features at Safeco Field will be screened behind the dugout, so and it's going to be retractable. We had the new senior VP Trevor Gooby on radio yesterday talking about the additions to the ballpark for this year. Runners go, pitch on the outside, just outside. Ball 4. Bases are loaded. 9th man coming to the plate, Yonder Alonso.
Second walk of the inning, and he's hit a batter.
All kinds of trouble.
Alonso hit the ball hard his first time up, but it was a one-hopper right to Vinci, the second baseman.
About to throw his 34th pitch of the inning. 9th man to the plate, bases loaded, 3 runs in. Strike 1 to Yonder.
It's like Brian Bonnell getting loose in the pen for the Mariners. One thing, try to get these guys' pitch counts up, but you just don't want to see them throw too many pitches in one inning. Like to spread it out a little bit more, so trying to get him to probably 70, 75. I'm not sure that's going to happen with the amount of pitches he's throwing in this inning.
And you can see Alonso's in launch mode. Trying to end it right here. Been a very difficult inning for Rob Whalen. He's 0-2 to Alonso. Breaking ball stays fair. Easy play. Healy inning over. 9 men to the plate. 3 runs on 3 hits, and there are 3 left. See if the Mariners can get cranking. Healy's going to lead off when we get back. Bottom of the second inning here in Peoria. Make sure you take advantage of the Safeco Field Suite special going on right now. You pay in full for 2 or more suites by March 30th. You'll receive a free private suite for select games. Your clients will enjoy great space to catch the game, and you'll enjoy great savings. For more info, log on to mariners.com/premium. Ryan Healy going to lead it off. Mike Clevenger sparkling in the first inning, striking out the side of Heredia, Henniger, and Seager. Second game for Healy. Clevenger starts him off. Strike one. It'll be Healy, Mike Ford, and Mike Margema.
Clevenger, good fastball in the first inning. He was 95 miles an hour with a hard slider. And he had a long rest into the dugout, with Rob Whalen struggling through the top of the second inning.
Healy thrilled to be back in action. 271, 25 homers, 78 RBIs for Oakland last year in 149 games.
Hit the ball hard a couple of times yesterday. Picked up a base hit.
Healy figures to be 6 or 7 hole in what could be a very stacked lineup for the Mariners. And he did his damage against the Mariners last year with 3 home runs and 6 doubles. Two and two. Clevenger working on his breaking ball. Counts run full. Clevenger 7-3 away from home last year on the road with a 2.45 ERA. Numbers at home 5-3 with a 3.79. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Mariners have their first base runner.
Good patient at bat. Was able to lay off a couple of sliders out of the strike zone.
Life on the berm. Pretty crowded. It was like that yesterday. Good crowd, almost 12,000 people. Here's Mike Ford. Rule 5 pickup from the Yankees. He's had a lot of plate appearances. Mikey's 8 for 44, 4 doubles, with a homer and 8 runs batted in.
Yeah, he was off to a slow start. Took a little while to pick up his first base hit. Has been swinging better lately. The thing that was tough on him is it seemed that every solid lefty that was pitching against the Mariners, he was in the lineup against them,
including Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, it was a tough start to the spring, but it's getting better.
One-0 pitch. Takes a strike. For the young man from Princeton University. All Ivy performer. Third base, did some pitching. Played for Scott Bradley, longtime coach at Princeton, one-time Mariner. 2-1. Ford hitting at a .182 here on the spring. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike. Clevenger gone with the long locks like John Lamb yesterday of the Angels, and Noah Syndergaard of the Mets. Jacob deGrom, he cut his hair. Solidly struck through the hole, right side. Healy will hold at second. But Mike Ford, his 9th hit of the spring.
He's been swinging better lately. We're just talking about it. Turned around a pretty good fastball at 94 miles an hour. 94 trying to get it in on his hands, ends up out over the plate. Probably belt high. Stays on top of it and drives it into right field. Nice short swing right there. Not much head movement.
So Healy and Ford are aboard to start the second for the Mariners. Brings up catcher Mike Margema to face Mike Clevenger.
Mike having a really good spring, hitting .320 overall with a couple of home runs.
Last Saturday, inside the Parker down at Goodyear against the Reds. Pulled foul.
Hit an impressive home run a couple days ago out to right center field here.
A little bit to the right of the 410 sign. Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah.
It's inside the park home run. He says coming around second. He was good till third, and then he scored on pure adrenaline because he couldn't believe Brocious was waving him.
I know he's here trying to win the job as a backup catcher, but he runs well. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, he's got two stolen bases. One was at third. Remember that one?
Yeah, Scott talked about that. Scott Service, the manager, was impressed.
0-2 to Mike. Talk to Scott coming up shortly here as we move along. Game number 25 this spring. Get those tickets for opening day. Opening night ceremonies coming up on the 29th of March. And blocked by Jan Gomes. Encarnacion, first inning RBI single to center. Second inning, the Tribe got an RBI double from Gomes. Naquin, he drove in a run as well. There was a throwing error that allowed the fourth run. Ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, popped up. Shortstop, Gonzalez is there for the play. Well, 1 out, 2 on here in the second. It's going to bring up Taylor Motter. Swinging a really hot bat, 16 for 47. A .340 batting average, a homer and 11 runs batted in. And a home run was a grand slam a few days ago over in Mesa against the A's.
A lot of spots are set on this club, but there is some competition for the utility role. Backup catcher. And he has played well. He's played all over the place, too. We know he's a good athlete. We saw him in the outfield last year. Natural position is shortstop, so he can play anywhere on the infield. But for the spring, hitting .340. 6 stolen bases.
Been aggressive. It's been impressive. Motter with a chance to put the Mariners on the board. Couple of men on base here, and a pitch from Clevenger right back. A little bit to our left, ringing off the infrastructure. Mike and I are already in midseason form. A little quick lean to the right. Get out of the way, baby. That thing had some heat.
There was no hesitation on either one of our parts.
Right you are.
Out of the way.
Motter, a better first half last year. 206, finished 163 in the second half.
Well, one of the things that he talked about this spring is he mentioned that, and he felt that he was a one-dimensional hitter last year, which basically was he was going to pull everything. And this spring he wanted to spray the ball around a little bit more, and we've seen that from him. Had a base hit the other day on a slider that was probably borderline down, maybe just off the corner with 2 strikes, and hit a solid line drive right back up the middle. That's a pitch that would have caused him a lot of problems last year. So he's working on it. He's trying to get there and having a good spring.
Really got out of the gate well. 5 homers, 13 runs batted in. There's a strike, 2-2 in his first 22 games. 2 grand slams last year. 2-2 the count. Inning started with a walk to Healy. Forward base hit to right. Pop up Margema. Motter trying to move him along in the dirt. Full count. Clevenger out of Seminole Community College in Sanford, Florida. Full count here to Motter. Takes for ball 4, bases loaded.
So both starters having their issues here in the second inning. Second walk of the inning for Clevenger.
What an opportunity here for this young man, enjoying a ball game out on the berm with the family. Coming to the plate, Ian Miller. That's what baseball's all about, the father-son bonding. Keep the game going from generation to generation. Bases loaded, 1 out. Ian Miller, 26 years old, 14th round pick back in 2013. So Ken Griffey Jr., minor league hitter of the year last year. Arkansas, he hit 326. Tacoma, he hit 268. His calling card, he can steal some bases. 30 at Arkansas and 13 at Tacoma. And word is there may be a Junior Griffey sighting Tuesday or Wednesday coming up this week.
I guess it's getting about that time, isn't it, for Junior to show up?
He'll show up in the last full week of action. He was told, dude, we're off on Tuesday. I got to text him. That means, once he found that out, I'm sure that means he'll play 36.
Without question. He may have known that, too.
Yeah. 0-2. Strike 3 called. 2 down.
We'll take a look at a pretty good fastball. It was just off the outside corner. Nice job by Jan Gomes, the catcher, to frame it.
Zach Vinci looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Zach claimed off waivers from Cincinnati last November. 1 for 9 in 9 games with Cincinnati. At AAA Louisville, he hit 270. 3 homers and 38 runs batted in. A lot of fans out there in social media have been wondering, where's Trumpet Man? Well, we heard him yesterday, and he's here again today. You know, for years, you've been hearing this guy blowing at the charge on his bugle. He's down in the front row right behind the Mariners on deck circle. Meanwhile, Zach Vinci in an 0-2 hole, 2 outs, bases loaded. Tying run at the plate. Up the middle, that'll get it done. Healy scores. Right behind him is Mike Ford. Motter to third. Big spot for Zach Vinci. They get the Mariners on the board. It's a 4-2 ball game here in the second inning. Nice work on an 0-2 pitch.
And for Zach, this is his 16th game of the spring, so he's had an opportunity to play quite a bit. And just trying to put the ball in play. Finds a hole back up the middle, drive in a couple of runs.
Very nice and timely work. Get us back to the top of the order. Guillermo Heredia. It's our buddy Carl Willis back coaching with the Tribe. Let it eat. One of the great guys we've met over the years. Carl Willis is with the Mariners, what, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
Eric Wedge won a World Series game, what, an 87 series for the Twins? Or was it the 91? I'm trying to have to look it up. I know it was one of them. I'm telling you, folks.
He's fun to talk to.
Oh, man, he is a blast. Let it eat. One of his favorite lines is Aaron Goldson has said, we've pretty much adapted it with this broadcast crew. Got to let that fastball, let it eat. Come on, Dave. The Mariners getting busy here in the second inning. Runners at the corners here. Heredia struck out his first time. Vinci at first, Honor at third. Breaking ball. Wow. That had some snap, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a good one. He's had a pretty good breaking ball today. His fastball has been 94 to 95.
Second inning has not been kind to either starter. Whalen was 34 plus. This is 30, pitch number 30 here for Clevenger. Zach Vinci, 4 out of 7 in base stealing last year, AAA Louisville. One thing we know about Jan Gomes, he is one of the best throwing catchers we got in the American League. Remember, I loved the duels he had last year with Gerard Dyson.
Have to be careful with him at the plate, too. He has some power. Good player.
He walked the Mariners off about, what, 3-4 years ago in Cleveland. Game looked like the Mariners had put away, and he had a 10th inning home run. Vinci runs, pitch, swung on and missed. That'll do it, but a good inning nonetheless for the Mariners. A 2-run single by Zach Vinci gets him on the board. It's 4-2 Tribe. Done here in Arizona. Not real hot today, 66, but it's not stopping these young ladies as they watch Mariner baseball. 4-2 lead for the Indians. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and Root Sports crew. The skipper joins us right now, Scott Service. Scott, thanks for joining us.
No problem, guys.
Hey, the first thing, tell the fans, give us the injury update.
Come on.
They want to know. One of the big boys coming back.
Actually, yeah, we got some good news there. Robbie and Cruzy should be back in the lineup here on Wednesday. We have an off day Tuesday, so looking forward to getting those guys back. Ichiro will head to the minor league side tomorrow. I'll probably get in 6-7 at-bats over there. Just try to get some timing down. Won't be running hard, but he's feeling better. Hopefully get him in lineup on Wednesday as well. So, things are looking much better there.
Scott, I had to think about this morning, and it's getting later in camp, and you're starting to cut the roster down. I remember Lou Piniella saying this one time, that it was probably the worst time when you get towards the end of camp. Early in camp, the guys know who are going to make the club and not, but you get to the end, those are some tough decisions and some tough conversations you have to have, isn't it?
It really is. Guys come in and everybody's all fired up at the beginning of camp, and as you get down here towards the end, you got to start. There's only so many innings that you have available for pitchers and at bats for players. So, but the key for us is to make sure our regular guys are ready to go in this camp, especially the last week and a half. Some of our guys on the fringe that may be in the big leagues or in AAA have gotten a ton of at-bats just because of the injury situation. So that's been good for them, but it never makes it easy here at the end of spring.
Hey, what about the emergence of Casey Lawrence?
Casey's had a really good spring. Fans saw him pitch for us, saw a number of guys pitch for us last year because of injury. But Casey has added a few things to his arsenal this spring. One of it being is he's kind of spending some time, adding some things to his delivery to mess up the hitter's timing. So you see him, pausing in his delivery, kind of quick pitching guys, and it's really made him effective. He really likes it. It gives him another weapon, a tool, so to speak, to add in his box, and he's taken and run with it. So his results have been great this spring. Really excited for him, and he is excited about it as well.
It's nice to have Ryan Healy back in the lineup and swinging the bat. He looks pretty good, too.
He really does. I thought the last at-bat against Clevenger was awesome. I mean, if Ryan Healy lays off that 2-2 slider in the dirt and the 3-2 fastball just off the plate, he's going to have a heck of a season. But, he feels good. His hand feels good. Love how he looks over at first base. He's got a lot of range over there, picking throws in the dirt. So it's nice to have him out here. Shoot.
Line drive. That's off the bat of Giovanni Urshela. And coming around is Ref Snyder. And the cutoff man, second cutoff man's hit. He scores all the way from first, RBI double. That's a 5-2 ball game. You said something this morning in your media session I found very interesting about Iwakuma.
Yeah, Akuma is throwing the ball really good, I think, as far as, getting his arm strength back up. And, he had the offseason surgery. I'm very encouraged and feel very good about the fact that he is going to help us at some point this season. He's not thrown a bullpen yet. But just building things up, and we're taking it much slower with him. Last year he was trying to rush to get back because the season was winding down, and we certainly needed him. It just couldn't do it. So having the off-season surgery, taking it a little bit slower this spring. If he feels very good about where he's at, hopefully get him on the mound here in a bullpen setting before we leave camp is the goal, and then he has to build up his arm strength and innings from there. So, possibly could work into our mix if everything goes well. Maybe by the end of May, early June.
You did something yesterday that I thought was terrific, and that is the photobomb of Daniel Vogelback for a couple of different reasons. One, every time we talk to you, there's a lot of things going on, and you're very serious, and you have to be there. Just looking at it right now, Scott, which was terrific. But Daniel seemed to be a little bit nervous, and you made him a little bit more nervous after that. But you still have to have some fun down here, don't you?
You really do. Vogie's been great. He's one guy you can have fun with, and he takes it the right way. And I just happened to look in the dugout yesterday. We had a split squad yesterday, so we had a lot of players. We called it from the minor leagues, and it was about I think we might have been the 9th inning of the game. We played a really good ball game yesterday, and I looked down the bench, and there's nobody on the bench. The extra guys are all in the game. I had one player hanging out just in case there was injury, and all of a sudden I see Vogie with the headset on. I'm like, no way. So I stood behind him for about 30-40 seconds. He had no clue what was going on, and there's a lot of things that jump into my mind. I could have had even more fun with him, but I did know the camera was on, but it was good for him.
Well, one of the other things about it, too, with Daniel that I've really enjoyed this spring is you guys gave him some direction after last year and some things that he needed to do, and he's really done that, and you can tell what he's done at the plate this year. Having just a terrific spring.
Really is. His mindset and kind of where he's at, and the comfort level where he's at, being at a new ball club now for the second year. And quite frankly, coming into this camp, the pressure was off a little bit. When you acquire a guy and you bring him in, and really had a chance to make our club last year out of spring. He just didn't perform that well, and we didn't feel he was quite ready. And he took it the right way. He went down to the minor leagues. When we brought him back in September, he really was a different guy mentally, and how he was handling himself around the ball club. And glad to give an opportunity this spring. He's really taken it and run with it, and it's been good to see.
What have you seen in terms of his development defensively as well?
He's worked his tail off over there with Manny and with Scott Brocious. It really started last year when Tim Bogart was around him, and he's willing to put in the time, that's for sure. He's gotten much better defensively, and is how comfortable he is around the bag. The range is never going to be great for Vogie at first base, but catching the balls he's supposed to catch and picking the balls in the dirt like he's supposed to, it's really important for the rest of our infield, and he's been much improved in that area.
Scott, unfortunately, over the last few years, you've had to change plans and do a lot of things on the fly. And you talked about this a week ago, which I really liked the idea of ramping things up for these guys and then kind of taking them back down that last week or so. How much has that changed with these guys? Every day you had a leg injury to somebody. How's that changed as far as being able to do what you wanted to, the original plan?
It's changed quite a bit. Sometimes the best laid out plans don't always play out, but the key is to make sure our guys are fresh and ready to go when we get to opening day. And I was hoping to kind of ramp it up this week with Nelly and Robbie going down, and Ichiro kind of having a little setback there. Haven't been able to do that. The key is, like I said, those guys will get some at-bats in. They both came out, and all three guys took BP today. And because they are experienced veterans, just make sure they're healthy and ready to go when we get to opening day is the goal right now.
Last
Come on, turn it.
update, let's see, there's a one, no, backed up nicely by Motter. So throwing error. And the bases are loaded.
This inning isn't working out so good, guys.
Yeah, we'll know not to put you on top third again, right?
and with that,
for the fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Felix, tell the folks what's the latest on Felix.
Felix is going to throw in a minor league game tomorrow. The hope is to get him 3 innings and 45 pitches, and get him build him up from there. So hopefully he's able to get through that. I do believe he is healthy. Just the setback with the line drive, off the arm, certainly hurt. And what his plan was going to be this spring, but we're hopeful he gets through the outing tomorrow. That would line him up to pitch on Saturday, a night game that we have against the Cubs, and see where it goes from there.
All right, Scott, thanks so much for your time, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Take care.
Bet. Mel Stoudemire with a visit. Second throwing error by Whalen. He erred throwing to first on a pickoff attempt back in the second inning. And this throwing error loads the bases.
We saw Brian Bonnell getting loose in the bullpen. Second time he's been up in the ball game. He was up last inning too.
Single, double, walk, error. Or run in. Top of the order, here's Naquin. Third time up for him. Double, RBI, single. There's good news about Felix. Good news about Robbie, Nelly, Ichiro.
Yeah.
Got to get Romine. He may be back on Wednesday as well. Working in the cage today, doing some swinging. That gets through the hole. Scoring is Urshela, holding Schaefer at third. Another run on the board for the Tribe, as Tyler Naquin having a day. He's 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 2 runs batted in.
And Scott on his way out to the mound, so that's going to be it for Rob.
So we will step aside, come right back. Base is still loaded. As the Tribe will have Yan Gomes at the plate when we return.
So I switched to CenturyLink Internet.
By Magic Toyota, right on Highway 99 in Edmonds. By Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. And by Fred Meyer. Let's get a good look at Papago Park in Phoenix as we welcome you back. Mariner baseball, a 6-2 lead for the Tribe here in Peoria. And a tough outing a very difficult outing for Rob Whalen. 2+ innings of 8 hits. 6 runs, all 3 runners on base are his responsibility. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. New pitcher, Brian Bonnell, 24 years old, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. 6'5", 210. Came over from the Mariners in exchange for the Mariners international signing slot number 71 last May.
Yeah, with Rob, he just wasn't as sharp today. Did not have the good breaking ball, and then he hurt himself with a couple of throwing errors.
But now last year, 3-2, 32 games at Modesto, a 3.64 ERA. Swing and a miss by Yan Gomes. He's fly to center and delivering an RBI double to left. Schaefer, Gonzalez, and Naquin on base here. Hit foul. Mariners got their 2 runs on a Zach Vinci 2-out 0-2 pitch. Drove in 2 with a single to center in the second inning. Here's the 0-2. That's hit well. Deep right center field. Tons of carry. And it's up on the berm for a grand slam. Yan Gomes. A grand slam here. His 3rd home run of the spring. Drives in 4 on that one swing. Gives him 5 RBIs today. 12 on the season. And they've blown this sucker open. 10-2 in the 3rd.
Oh, 2, and he makes a mistake. Fastball in the middle of the plate.
Yan Gomes, my goodness. Young man from Brazil. Big swing and a miss by a foul tip by Chisenhall. Well, he got all of that. 10-2 in the 3rd. Plenty of time left. 0-2. 7th man to the plate here in the 3rd inning. Sent 9 to the plate in the 2nd.
Well, we talk about it all the time and how difficult it is to pitch down here. And the main thing is if you don't have command and you're in the middle of the plate, with as fast as the infield is and the way the ball carries, you're going to be in trouble, and that's been the case so far for the Mariners.
Ten runs on 9 hits for the Tribe. 1 and 2 here to Lonnie Chisenhall. Ground out and hit by a pitch. Mike Margema taking his share of pops. Balls in the dirt and bouncing off his chest protector and shoulders. Counts at 2-2.
Yeah, right about now, Mike Margema might be thinking about his days at third base and how nice that was. He's getting beat up today.
Yes, he is. Look out, same area. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Big 6 spot up on the board here for Cleveland. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to hear from Marco Gonzalez, Casey Lawrence, and always a pleasure to see Jeff Idelson, president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, will join us. Another foul ball. Good crowd. And full-voiced beer vendors, too. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase. First out of the inning. Whether looking for exciting events or great giveaways, there's an outstanding lineup of games to catch at Safeco Field this season. Join us for opening night, fireworks nights, bobblehead nights, and much more. Your seat's waiting for you right now, Mariners.com. Here's Encarnacion with 1 out, nobody on. 6 in. With the shift on for him. 3 defenders on the left side. Strike 1 to Encarnacion. First inning RBI single to center. Second inning walk. Brian Bennell on in relief of Rob Whalen. 1-2.
One for Brian, his fastball today at 93 miles an hour. That last pitch, pretty good slider at 87. Off the plate away, gets him to chase it.
Oh, 2 pitch. Ball 1.
Well, that's a better 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, made sure he had it down out of the strike zone.
Here comes the 1-2 offering.
That looked like a good pitch.
Oof. 2-2. Lance Barrett working balls and strikes today. Wind continues to swirl, blowing out towards left center now. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strikes him out.
Good fastball at 95 miles an hour. His best fastball so far.
Well placed.
Wanted the breaking ball, didn't get the call. He just reaches back and throws 95 by him.
Listen, Yandere Alonso's 3rd time up. Back-to-back innings in which he is the 9th hitter of the inning. Fly ball deep to left, going back, and it's up on a berm and gone. Yandere Alonso makes it 11-2. That's his 3rd home run of the spring, his 5th run batted in, and the Tribe is batted around. Got a little bit of push there from the wind blowing out that way right now. So she's running out of space, or he's running out of space just like I am for this inning. Move everything over. 10th man to the plate. Ref Snyder. Strikeout. Base hit to left and a run scored. Two down. Here in the 3rd, 10th man to the plate. Slided first strike, 1-1. Did he go? They check it first. He did. Scott Barry said he did go. Ball and 2 strikes. (11-2) mashings are, and you're on a short end, are not fun, whether it be spring training or regular season or out in the backyard. Swing and a miss. Got him. Damage aplenty as the Tribe puts 7 on the board in the 3rd and lead 11-2. against the Cleveland Indians. Indians really swinging the bats here today. Banged out a grand slam by Yan Gomes. Yonder Alonso with a solo home run. Meanwhile, the Mariners 2 runs on 2 hits. Zach Vinci, 2-out single, drove in 2 in the second inning on an 0-2 pitch. Here's Mitch Haniger batting the 2 spot today. Mike Clevenger, again, long rest. Tribe sent 10 men to the plate in the third, 9 in the second. A strike to Mitch, struck out on a 1-2 pitch first time up. Seventh game for Haniger. Late start, you know, with the tendonitis in his right hand.
Well, Clevenger ended up striking out the side in the first inning. Mitch hitting second in the lineup today and able to strike those guys out with the slider. Had a really good slider in the first, along with a fastball at 95. That's a pretty good breaking ball right there.
Ooh, got him looking. That is strikeout number 6. We're only in the third. Here's Angie Mentink at the Ford Sports Desk. What's up, Ange?
We are just looking at all these photos as they come in. They're using the hashtag #WhereIRoot, and everybody's got a reason as to why they need to get down to Arizona. A birthday celebration, that would be good, especially if your girlfriend buys you tickets there. Maika sends that one in, and how cute are these guys watching spring training here on Root Sports. The only thing would be better if Dad could be there with him instead of working. Poor guys. But continue to send those photos in. We'll try to get them on the air. The hashtag again is #WhereIRoot. Dave?
All right, Angie, thank you. 1 out, third inning. Here's Kyle Seager, struck out in an 0-2 pitch. Mike Clevenger's got bonanza of run support here. Fly ball left field. Ref Snyder, 2 down.
I'll bring up Ryan Healy. Healy ended up walking and scoring a run in his first at bat. Mentioned the slider from Clevenger. He was able to lay off of that pitch a couple of times.
There he is, the aforementioned trumpet guy. He's back. Made his first appearance, at least the one I saw. First time I saw him was yesterday. Heard him yesterday. And you folks on social media were wondering, well, the first, what, 2.5, 3 weeks? Spring training, where's Trumpet Man? One of the fixtures here at Peoria. I like the fact Healy, a 25 home run guy, is with this Mariner ball club, is going to bat. I mean, that just strengthens that 6, 7, 8 hole.
Lengthens out the lineup.
Tremendously.
Young right-handed power.
Clevenger with 6 strikeouts. He's walked 2, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. Both hits coming in the second inning, Ford and Vinci. One and 2 here. Strike 3 called. Clevenger on fire here. 3 innings of 7 strikeouts. Big lead as well, 11-2 Cleveland. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the ball game wherever you're watching. Joining us right now, Marco Gonzalez, Mariners left-hander, off to a really good start here in the spring. A 1-1 record, a 1.10 ERA in 5 games. Marco, good to have you with us. First,
how's it going, guys?
We're doing well. Who'd you rather face, Florida State or Xavier, the Sweet 16? You're a Gonzaga guy.
I'm gonna have to go with Xavier. I mean, I know they got a good team, but I think we match up with them pretty well, especially the last game we just played. I think that, I don't know, the way our bigs are playing down low, our guards played a lot better. We didn't turn the ball over last night, so I'm happy with facing Xavier.
I knew you'd have a handle on that.
That's right.
Had a baby.
Yeah.
So, as we look at this pitch here, hit through the whole left side by Urshela. Give us your thoughts on this last outing. You went 5 2/3 against the Angels. That was yesterday. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah. It was a weird week, not being able to catch a baseball. So I definitely had some interesting bullpen this week, and interesting preparation.
You were like a quarterback. You had to have a receiver. Yeah,
I was
exactly.
QB1 this week, and I have one of the pitching coaches who just had a great time with that, and so it was great. I was able to get my throwing in, and I played catch the day before my start the other day, and all felt good. So I was ready to go, and I didn't have a doubt the entire week I was going to be ready to go, but. It was an interesting week for sure.
Marco, we talked about it earlier in camp, but when we mentioned that last year you didn't throw your cutter and you are here in spring. How's that coming along? How's the feel for that pitch?
Yeah, it's coming along great. Right now I'm just trying to figure out the usage of it, you know, and how much to use it, how little to use it, how it complements my repertoire, and the combinations to set it up and to go afterwards. So there's a lot that goes into it, and that's what this time is for right now, to kind of figure out that balance of it. And I'm having a blast throwing it. It keeps guys off my changeup and my sinker, which has been you know, my money pitches for right now. And so to be able to add that dynamic to go hard into righties and away to lefties has been something that I've been excited about.
One of the things that I've noticed from you too, and I'll be curious on how much you're doing it on purpose, but you talk about your changeup and the cutter to a right-hander. I certainly understand all of that, but it seems at times too you'll reach back and you'll throw that high fastball, and I think that can have an effect too as far as your changeup goes.
Yeah, and that's something that coming over here last year I haven't done a ton of, and I don't do it enough, honestly. Being able to raise hitters' eyes and go up, down, in, out. You know, I'm great at going in and out, but adding that second level up top, there's outs up there, and I'll take him if I can get him. So I'm going to use it more for sure.
How did it feel yesterday going 5 2/3, and you faced the most batters you've faced so far this spring? You went for 18 batters faced.
Yeah, confidence. You know, my arm feels great, number one, and being able to recover from each start has been the priority. So to be able to go out there and see the work that I put in, you know, see some value being brought out of it, that was a good feeling. And I felt strong the entire start. Was a little tired going into the 6th, but that's understandable. I had a huge pitch count jump from my last outing, so. It felt good overall.
Where were we at yesterday? 76, I think. Was that the number?
I think 74, 75.
So next time out,
75.
What about next time out? What are you looking to get to?
I think 80, 85, and I think we'll.
So you're close.
Yeah, I'm close. I think this next one we keep building a little bit, and then the one after that maybe back down and be able to go fresh into the year.
Boy, that's great. And again, in terms of. The arm feels great, right? I mean, totally recovered, and up top in the old coconut, you're all clear, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm left-handed, so I don't know about that.
Okay, so I was watching you yesterday, and I was looking at the schedule. And do you think there's going to be an opportunity for you to swing the bat in San Francisco?
I hope so. I very much hope so. But yeah, I think. I don't know how the schedule irons out exactly. I'm trying not to think about that too much right now. But you can bet that if I get that start, I'm gonna be getting. Leak and I have already talked about we're gonna get our hacks in the cage. We're trying to do it on a weekly basis just to stay fresh. So you never know. I mean, between him and I think we could put together some nice ABs.
There you go.
Well, I like that confidence. Here's a ball hit in the right center field. Guillermo's got to cut it off. Runners at first and second, 1 out here in the 4th. It's Gonzalez with a base hit. What was your best moment as a hitter up here in the bigs? Have you had one?
Yeah, my first AB. I went double left center gap.
Nice.
And I went left too. I was facing Johan Flandy, and he threw me a slider like 0-2, and I went
stayed on it,
left center gap, and I flew around those bases. I don't even remember running, but it was wild.
I have to tell you, we talk about it a lot with you, and what a good athlete you are, and all those things. And when I saw you take that line drive, I wasn't sure if it was your wrist or your hand or what it was at the moment that it happened. And of course, you know, everybody's concerned about injuries, especially to the pitching, what's going on the last couple of years. And I was giving you a bit of a hard time. I said he better not miss his start on his gloving.
No, I had no doubt in my mind that I was going to make that next start, and I owe it to my team to be able to come out, and I've come back from worse. So it's a bruise, and I'll be all right. Rub some dirt on it.
There you go.
I hope the color went away, because when I walked in the building with you the other day, that was pretty ugly.
Yeah, it was this week. It's looked different every day. It's a surprise every day. It's got some good colors going on. It's blue, green, black, all the above. So it's good.
Well, heal up, my man. Appreciate you coming on. Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Marco Gonzalez. Seriously, that thing was ugly, man. It was purple.
I know.
It was real big.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. 0-2 to Tyler Naquin. What a day he's had. Double run scored in the first, RBI single in the second, RBI single in the third. Tribe threatening again. Runners at first and second, 1 out against Brian Bennell on in relief of Rob Whalen.
Good numbers for Marco Gonzalez. A 1.1 ERA this spring, 16 and a third. He's given up just 10 hits, 13 strikeouts for him. Has 6 walks. He'd probably like to lower that number a little bit as he keeps moving forward, but it's good to see his pitch count going to be 80-85, so he's getting close to that 100, which is where you want to be at the start of the season.
I liked yesterday's game. Again, the 18 batters faced over 5 2/3. Bodes well. Get some length.
Yep.
Mariners could use a double play right here. Try to retire Naquin for the first time today. Chop foul. You know, Marco will be paying big attention, as will many people in the Pacific Northwest, to Florida State Xavier. See who comes out of that game, and Sweet 16 matchup with Gonzaga later on next week. Or later on this week, I should say. 1-2. Again, Cleveland favored in that in the American League Central. Minnesota's made some changes. They're going to be probably potentially tougher than they were last year. Fly ball left field. Ian Miller stays with it. 2 away. And that'll bring up Jan Gomes. All he did was hit a grand slam last time up to the right of the batter's eye. Prior to that, he delivered an RBI double down the left field line, flied out his first time. What a night, or an afternoon, 2 for 3, 5 runs batted in. Nice job, Margima on the backhand, ball 1. So right now, the Mariner pitching, the starting rotation. You got Paxton, Leake, Gonzalez. See where Felix fits in. See how he does in this next week, 10 days. Miranda's a possibility. Whalen's a possibility. And very encouraging to hear Scott Service say late May, early June for Iwakuma. That would really be something.
Ramirez, I think they're hoping that he'll start to throw maybe a bullpen by the end of spring training. So he's going to be out for a little while. Have to build him back up.
Strike 2 to Gomes. Runners at first and second. You got Urshela at second and Gonzalez at first. 2 down on a 1-2 pitch here to Jan Gomes. Two and two. Wind now blowing out towards right. Two pitch. Ground ball, Seager. Throws over to Healy, inning over. So Bennell gets out of 2-out trouble in the fourth. It's 11-2 Indians.
Roland Smith, the score down at Peoria, a little lopsided. Rob Whalen had a tough time out there. His ERA 1.38 coming in. So what happens from here?
You know, it's interesting. You always seem to, see this, from young guys. All of a sudden, they go through spring training, and there's really not a chink in the armor. Then all of a sudden, it starts to unravel a little bit. And this is going to be a challenge for Rob Whalen, whether he makes his team or they send him down to AAA. This is something that he has to be able to process and say, you know what, day one after my start, what did I take from this game? And this is something, again, from what he did last year. Dealing with some of the mental side of the game that he was dealing with. This is going to be the challenge for him moving forward.
Yeah, is to get over this and put it behind him mentally as we get you back down to Dave and Mike. Physically, though, you guys thought just the breaking ball wasn't quite there today.
The location was not what it was. It was very sharp the other day against Colorado. This time he left a bunch of balls up.
Yeah, he didn't have the bite on the breaking ball. That's going to be his best pitch, and also his fastball command just wasn't as good. And down here, you're going to get exposed quickly here in Arizona. We've talked about it all the time. It doesn't matter how hard you throw or what you're doing. These guys are going to be ready to hit, and unfortunately for him, it was a tough day today, but hopefully he'll bounce back in his next outing. Because coming into this game, he really was having a terrific spring.
No question. Mike Ford leads it off, 2-1 count. Shortstop calling everybody off. That's Gonzalez, one away. On Sunday, April 1st, the Mariners are celebrating the start of the season with Kids Opening Day. It's presented by Boeing. All youngsters are invited to join a pregame parade around the field. Plus, they're going to receive a free Felix Hernandez t-shirt. Be a part of the fun by picking up your tickets now at mariners.com. Opening day tickets, 29th of March. Go get them. Like to see you out there. It'll be a festive evening.
Nice to start the season at home.
Oh, man. Only the second time, 15 was the last time? Second time in 10 years. No question about it. Like Marjima, the hitter, popped up to short first time. Clevenger's been tough. He struck out 7 Walked 2, gave up a 2-run single to Zach Vinci in the second inning.
And he's had a good fastball today. He's been 93 to 95 miles an hour with a hard slider. Slider been tough to lay off for the Mariner hitters, especially the right-handed hitters.
Bouncing ball backhand, couldn't get it. Richie Schaefer does come up with it. Margim is aboard. And E5.
Looked like it was going to be a routine play. Tried to backhand it on the short hop.
Shortstop, number 21, Taylor Motter.
We mentioned split squad action today for the Indians. They lead the Cubs in Las Vegas by the same score, 11-2, bottom of the 5th. Here's Taylor Motter. Pulled foul. Ooh, look out. Down in the camera well, and I think it might have got somebody.
One of the grounds crew guys ended up getting hit. He's trying to shake it off.
Here's the 0-1. Fly ball left field. It's going to stay in the yard. 2 outs.
Left fielder, number 70.
2 outs, man at first. Ian Miller took a called third strike his first time.
Looks like we'll see Juan Nicasio next inning. Be a big part of the bullpen this year.
Earlier we had bullpen coach Brian DeLunas on, and Juan got off to a good start. Hey fellas, it's on me. Let's go. Got dinner. What do you got?
Some steak is what they ended up getting.
Tell you what, this kid's breaking ball's been really good.
Yeah, he's had good stuff today. Struggled a little bit in the second inning, but outside of that, he's been tough.
Clevenger, a 12-game winner last year, one of 5 double-figure winners among the starters. With the Cleveland Indians Central Division champs, they had the second-best win record in baseball, second only to the Dodgers. As Miller goes down on 3 pitches again, and the Mariners are gone in the 4th. They leave a runner. There was 1 error. No damage done to Clevenger in the Tribe. It's 11-2 Cleveland. Out the big bats here today in Peoria. Beautiful day for baseball. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers with you. Joining us right now, Maryland right-hander Casey Lawrence enjoying an outstanding spring. 5 games, an 0-0 record, 0.75 ERA, and 12 innings. What's been a big turnaround for you?
Just, you know, making a couple adjustments here early in spring and, you know, just getting ahead of hitters. It's been pretty important for me throughout my career, and just continuing early here this spring.
Yeah, looking at the numbers overall, in the 12 innings, you have 13 strikeouts, just the 1 walk. So that talks to what you're speaking about as far as your command. It seems to me, though, watching you, you're getting right after it, and it seems that, see the 13 strikeout, but it looks like you want to put the ball in play as quickly as possible watching you pitch.
Right, absolutely. You know, that's my #1 goal is go out there and get guys out 4 pitches or less. But, you know, when you have chances to put guys away, taking advantage of that as well.
Watching you've been able to keep the ball down. It seems like that's something you want to do. But I've also watched you elevate your fastball at times here early in spring training, and that's been a pretty good pitch for you as far as the strikeouts go.
Right, yeah. You know, that was brought to my attention with the TrackMan information we've been getting, that I had a little bit life to my fastball up in the zone, which I never really realized. So I've been trying to implement that when I can.
Got to change your way of thinking, huh?
Yeah, it's been a little bit different. But, you know, still a guy that attacks down in the zone. But, you know, given the opportunity, finding chances to go up.
Do you like all the information that they have for you today in today's game? It's changed a lot over the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
It's yes and no, right?
Yeah. At first, I was a little bullheaded about it with all the numbers and stuff. But, you know, I've learned to accept it, and, you know, I think it's, you know, if you're not changing and learning from this information now, you kind of get lost.
Yeah, I thought about it myself, and for myself playing, I felt like, for me, if I was playing in today's game, I'd have to pick and choose. I can't look at all the information, or I feel like that would also kind of hold me back. I still want to be an athlete out there.
Right, absolutely. And like you said, there's so many numbers now. It's, you're just trying to find what you can apply it to your the way you pitch and to your game, and going from there.
Talking to Scott Service and Mel Stoudemire Jr., they said that they've asked you, and you've done a good job implementing a little deception to the game, changing that pace, maybe a little Johnny Cueto quick pitch.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. You know, just watching some video, and you know, we talked about it early in spring and in a couple meetings and stuff, and just been kind of playing around with it, playing catch and going from there. And, you know, coming over from Toronto, I watched Stroman do it a little bit as well. And obviously you mentioned Cueto the other night when he threw here. I kind of picked up some pointers from him while I was watching him do his thing.
Wasn't that something? I mean, he all of a sudden, and that next thing you know, he's throwing the ball, he's standing there, and boom, it's on you.
I tell you what, it's definitely deceptive, and I've noticed some of the swings that I've gotten. You know, they've looked different. So it's something I'm going to keep going with.
There's a timing element to it, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, as a pitcher, what we're trying to do is, you know, mess up that timing, and it's an added weapon. You know, Pete Harnish always says, you know, it's another tool for the toolbox.
That's Pete. How much coordination does it take with the catchers, with Zunino and Margima and Freitas?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, you know, you make sure they're on the same page with you and their eyes are up. Because it's pretty much on us when we want to do it and how we want to do it. So I try to keep my eyes on him and make sure his head's not down, because that's the last thing you want to do is, you know, square one of those guys up.
Excellent point, because when Colorado was here, one of their guys, was it Russin? And one of their guys was talking about
it was Russin.
It was Russin, and he almost got one of their catchers last year on a quick pitch.
Right, yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's in the back of your mind. And, you know, when we throw our bullpens and stuff like that, you try and definitely work on it there. So they can kind of get a feel for it.
Well, you're at 12 innings now for the spring. What's comfortable for you as far as when you start the season? Where do you want to get to?
You know, I think 12 is I'm comfortable with that right now. I feel like I could, you know, jump right into the season here and get going. I'm one of those guys that I can kind of get going here pretty quick. So, you know, I think between 8 and 12. But, you know, anytime I get out there is a new opportunity to try and get better. So, you know, I'll take all these innings I can in spring, too.
Oh, yeah. Eat them up, man. Thanks a lot for joining us. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome. Casey Lawrence, boy, he's on a good roll.
He's having a great spring.
And
He works fast, too, and throws a lot of strikes. I just like how aggressive he has been.
Encarnacion a mile high. Get a little help from the wind, but not enough to take it out. 2 down. Already with the catch. Yeah, when he talked about coordinating with the catcher, I thought about when Jeff Houston was here and we were talking to Russ. And how'd the story go? He threw the
he quick pitched. The catcher had his head down. He said his target had his head down, wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
And fortunately, when he looked up, the ball was on his way, and it also happened to hit the target.
Right in the glove. Yeah.
Yeah. Very fortunate.
Oh, that is scary.
You might have a problem walking back into the dugout, I'll tell you that.
And here's Alonso. Yonder Alonso, 2 out, nobody on here in the 5th. Yonder, home run back in the 3rd. A couple of ground outs, 1 for 3. Yeah, I mean, you got to coordinate that stuff. It is a great weapon.
It is.
So far, so good for Nicasio. And it's interesting what he talked about, the information. He didn't know he was good at the top of the zone, and TrackMan told him.
Right. That his fastball was a little bit better, had a little life to it at the top of the zone. So they all look at it, and they're like, every now and then, get a guy 0-2, 1-2, pop one up there, see what can happen. Maybe he'll pop the ball up or swing and miss.
I like both of your approaches in terms of the information. There's so much out there.
There is.
Take what fits you, right?
That's exactly right. I think there's some valuable information, but you have to be able to put it in your game. And, it goes back to guys stealing signs and doing all these different things, guys tipping pitches. There are certain guys that wanted every single thing they could get, and other guys they didn't want as much, and some of them didn't want it at all. And I think it's a personal thing. Pretty good fastball right there. Talking about the quick pitch, it made me think about it. And you probably remember this, but I remember talking to Don Mattingly when I made camp. I think it was my rookie year. Might have been, yeah, I think it was. But Pascual Perez.
Yeah.
And on the mound, he would throw it over to first at any moment, any time. Sometime between his legs, he'd just fire it over there, and you just could not take your eyes off of him.
Did he get Donnie?
He almost did one time, yeah.
Oh, man.
Talk about a character. But you just had to keep your eye on him the entire time because he would throw it over there at any moment from any angle.
Right.
I think as far as the pitching side of it, I know as a hitter, I wouldn't like it at all. So why wouldn't you do it as a pitcher, because hitting is timing, and if you can disrupt that.
I'm sure there's been some wonderful conversations after being quick pitched. I've seen that in college ball, let alone up here.
Oh, it's happened. Yeah.
Thought like a man.
Yeah, and then he'll look at you until you keep walking to the dugout.
Quick pitch. And Johnny Cueto. And with the shimmy shake he's got.
Yeah, changing angles, all those different things.
Yonder takes a call, 3rd strike. Nice inning by Nicasio. Strikes out 2 of the 3 men he faced. It's 11-2 Cleveland.
Hey, you're never too old to make
Mariners spring training on Root Sports is presented by Dunn Lumber, building success together.
Good to have you with us, everybody. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Moving closer to opening day, opening night in Seattle against these Cleveland Indians. That'll be on the 29th of March, a Thursday. Right now, the Tribe 11-2 over the Mariners as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. And the starter, Mike Clevenger's been really tough. 8 strikeouts. He's walked 2, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready for the season to start. They have a reliever getting loose in their bullpen, so he's probably trying to get to that 75 pitch mark also. Dan Otero getting loose.
2-0 the count. Zach Vinci knocked in the 2 Mariner runs, 2 outs on an 0-2 pitch, singled up the middle. There's a strike, 2-1. That was back in the second inning. Cleveland a run in the first, 3 in the second, 7 in the third. The highlight of Jan Gomes' grand slam. Two and 2. It's that time of game when we start getting the regulars out. Yep. That's why we have multiple inks. Breaking ball. That has been a fabulous pitch for Mike Clevenger. That's strikeout number 9. 1 away. Hey, Mariner fans, spring training is here, and on MLB.tv, watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For regular season games, visit MLB.tv for details. Guillermo Heredia in the leadoff spot today, 0 for 2. He struck out twice.
He's had a tough time with the slider off the plate. Just not picking it up today.
Ground ball foul past Scott Brocious.
Pretty good curveball.
Clevenger with the 0-2. They aired that one out, 1 and 2. Anthony Miller at first base, Trenton Brooks in right field, Clark Scalamiero is in center field. Kid works at a nice pace and he's got good stuff today. Good eye by Guillermo, 3 and 2. One out, nobody on. And time granted. Three-two pitch. Breaking ball, jumped on it, hooked it foul.
It's one of the few sliders we've seen left in the middle of the plate. That was middle.
Just 2 hits for the Mariners. And now a base runner. 3rd walk issued by Mike Clevenger. And Terry Francona coming out to make a pitching change. And we will step aside. Actually, that's Brad Mills making the pitching change. Terry's up in Las Vegas. Back with more after this. building success together. By Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by your Western Washington Honda dealers, visit your local Honda dealer today. New pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, veteran right-hander Dan Otero. Dan Otero out of Bellevue, Washington, 33 years old. Third season with Cleveland after 3 with Oakland and parts of a season or 2 with San Francisco. Haniger blisters the first pitch through the hole, left side, base hit. Third hit today for the Mariners. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
And for Haniger, missed a lot of spring training, but starting to get his timing on the fastball. Seen that over the last few days.
Compliment aboard, 1 out, brings up Kyle Seager. Strikeout and a fly to left. Through the whole, base hit. Guillermo motoring around third. Here's a throw to the plate. It is dropped by Yan Gomes. They might have had him if he holds on. Run scores. Mariners on the board again. It's 11-3 Cleveland. RBI Kyle Seager. That'll be his 3rd of the spring.
And here you go. 3-hopper through the infield. Strong throw by the right fielder. Dave mentioned if Gomes had been able to handle it, would have been a close play. Good hustle by Heredia to score from second.
Trenton Brooks, the new right fielder. So RBI for Seager, his 3rd, brings up Ryan Healy. So Seth Mejia's Bream's going to run for Seager. Ball 1 to Ryan Healy. Walked, run scored in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 3rd.
I'm going to wonder if this will be his last at bat. Scott was talking about him getting back in the lineup for the first time yesterday. Wanted him to get 2 or 3 at bats yesterday. Probably the same today. I don't know that he'll play tomorrow.
Breaking ball, 1-1. Yeah, this week, Wednesday's a good target date. Get all these guys back. Cano, Cruz, Ichiro, hopefully Romine.
I get a chance to see what the starting lineup looks like.
Honest to goodness. Get Zanino in there. He's enjoying a day off today. Off the fist. That will get smothered. They get the out at second. They get the out at first. Oh, man. What a play. Broken bat squibber. Looked like it was hit slowly enough that it might get through. Mariners do get a run. Nice play by Eric Gonzalez to Urshela to Anthony Miller for the double play. 11-3.
Wednesday at 6:30, the Mariners play the Brewers on Root Sport.
Afternoon here in Peoria. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew on hand. And this inning-ending double place shows why you never give up.
Off the heel of his glove and a quick turn. Gets him by about a half a step.
Heck of a play. Well turned.
Good to have Ryan in the lineup. Second day in a row for him.
He could not be more excited, let me tell you. Sitting out most of, what, the first 2 weeks and change. Coming off the bone spurs in his right hand. Here's Nick Vincent. Seth Mejia's brain takes over at third. Kirk Neuenhuis right.
Andrew Applin in left field.
For Nick Vincent, be his third appearance. Pitched an inning against Oakland 3 days ago, scoreless, struck out 1. First appearance on March 12, scoreless inning, struck out 2. Both times just faced 3 batters.
Well, talking to Nick, he feels good. Of course, he has the good cut fastball, deception to what he's doing. You could tell he's pretty excited, too, that they have the depth that they have in their bullpen. Nick's had to pitch a lot out of the pen the last couple of years, and I thought it was interesting this spring. It doesn't sound like he's going to go multiple innings. Have that situation where they sit him down and have him go back out there. So this routine is going to be a little bit different than the rest of the guys. But I'm sure it's just more than anything because of the amount he's had to pitch over the last few years.
He has been pretty much an automatic since Scott Service has been here.
Wow.
69 games last year, 60 in 2016.
Yeah, Scott said it too, and of course most of the time you get in situations you have no other option, but Scott felt that they were using him a little bit too much. Numbers fell off a little bit in the second half, and they can cut those numbers down a little bit as far as the innings that he's going to pitch. That would certainly help because every year in the first half of the season he's been as good as anybody.
Been dependable. I mean, he's a guy you know, hey, you know what you're going to get. He's pitched out of some really difficult situations. Here's Urshela. Swing and a miss. Good looking breaking ball. Runs on 12 hits and an error for Cleveland. Down the right field line. That'll get foul. So Trey Gant. Pinch running now. Pinch running at first base for Refsnyder. 0-2 to Urshela. RBI double back in the third, a single to left. In the fourth inning, he's 1 for 3. Just joining us, Rob Whalen. Tough or difficult day for him. 2+ innings of 8 hit, 9 run ball, 8 earned. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Coming up tomorrow, Christian Bergman will get the start over at Tempe Diablo Stadium against the Angels. And Tuesday, everybody has a day off. Battling the sun and the wind, Guillermo Heredia. One away, one on here in the 6th. Here's Angie Mente.
That was not an easy catch, guys. Hey,
Nope.
our annual Ultimate Northwest Fan Contest is almost here. Root Sports will be looking for the ultimate fan in the state of Idaho throughout the month of April. Send us a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan, and you could win a VIP trip for two to Seattle in October, a personalized jersey, and more. The contest goes live on April 1st, so stay tuned for more details, guys.
All right, Angie, thank you. One out. There's Richie Schaefer. Fouls it in and out of the glove of Marchment. You were talking, Mike, about first half, second half with Nick Vincent.
Yeah.
First half last year, 2-1, a 2.02 ERA in 37 games. Second half, 1-2 with a 4.66 in 32 games. 29 innings.
Yeah, and then the thing you love about Nick is it doesn't matter, I think, how he's feeling or what's going on. If the phone rings and you ask for him, he's going to pick the ball up and give you everything that he has. But you can definitely tell by those numbers that the innings really started to hurt him a little bit more. Valuable piece to the bullpen. You have to take care of him.
Yeah, last month, 11 games in September/October, 0-2 record and 11.42 ERA. 8 2/3, 16 hits, 11 runs all earned.
Yeah, his command just wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's just having to force it, reach back for a little bit extra, and typically that's going to be trouble.
Cameron made a nice adjustment there. Looked like it was coming right to him, then he had to keep on coming. The fact that D. Gordon is excelling so well in these conditions, spring, his first time in center field, this wind, this sun, and he's getting it done.
Yeah, I asked him about it, and I was talking to him about just fundamentally how good he has been. When you think about all the different things that go into it, look, he's a terrific athlete, and he can really run, so catching a ball in the gap was not going to be an issue. But all the other things that he's been able to do, and he's talking about his work with Chris Prieto. And
off the end of the bat, past Healy. Pinch runner Gant motoring to third. House gets it back in.
And I asked him because we saw it over in Surprise where Heredia was in left field. It was a routine fly ball to him. And, of course, you have the sun and the wind that you were talking about. And D ran all the way from center field all the way over to left where he was at to end the inning just in case he lost it in the sun. That's something that experience tells you what to do. So I was asking him about that, and he says, hey, I have to do all these things right, or Chris, I'm going to hear it from Chris when I come in, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to let him down. He's going to be terrific. The energy that he brings to this ball club. The fans are going to love watching him play.
Love his bunt game, too. Which he might be, what, 750 guys, position players. There might be 10 good bunters in baseball. Maybe 8.
Define good.
Yeah, we can get it down the first time, get it fair.
Yeah, I'd put him up. I'd put him up there, top 4.
Yeah, I mean, but my point
just because nobody does it anymore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we delighted when we first got down there. Heck, we were on the air, second, third game, and he got a couple bunts down the first 2 games. Like, hey, this is nice. Up the middle, thrown across his body. Nice dig by Healy. They get the out. Nice job, Zach Vincent. And Nick Vincent keeps the Tribe off the board. Here in the 6th, it's 11-3 Cleveland.
So you're telling me it all comes
Bottom of the 6th. It's all Cleveland to this point. Time is now to join the club as a Mariners season ticket holder. Lock in the best seats at the best prices to catch all the action at Safeco Field in 2018. For more information on the many benefits you'll enjoy as a season ticket holder, log on to mariners.com/18. I like the persistence here of Zach Vinci. Stayed with it.
Well, I thought maybe he would go to second base for the force out, but goes across the diamond. And a pretty good pick by Healy at the end of it. Good for Ryan Healy, just his second game.
Nice work by the fellas. There's Nick Goody, takes over for the Tribe. 26-year-old out of Orlando, Florida, 5'11", 200. With Cleveland last year, 56 games, a 1-2 record, a 2.80 ERA. His first hitter's Mike Ford. Goody with the Yankees for 7 games in 2015, 27 in the 16 season.
Mike 1 for 2 this afternoon, scored a run.
Wind blown out to left now, breaking ball down low. Mike Ford with that base hit, his 9th of the spring. Pitch up high, 2-1. The Ford, Mike Margema, and Taylor Motters, 5, 6, and 7 here in the 6th inning. Early scoring for the Tribe, 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 7 in the third. Catcher Jan Gomes hit a grand slam. 2-2. When wind swirling down here, it has really been something watching this since we've been down here late February. The first 4 or 5 days was as gusty a wind as we've seen down here.
It was cold. We had days when it was in middle 80s and cooled off again. Temperatures are supposed to go back up again this week.
Yeah, today it's supposed to get up in the high 60s today. And Ford works a walk at 67 right now. There's some fans that come down and join that sunshine. There's Mike Margema. How about this? The new shortstop, Luke Wakamatsu.
Is that right?
Downan's kid.
Huh.
Down, of course, been a bench coach in Kansas City the last, what, 5, 6 years. Remember Don talking about Luke. Boy, he grew up since I saw him last. 6'3" now. He's at shortstop for the Indians. Boy, he shot up. Wow. 0-2. Alexis Pantoja, he's at third. Trey Gant, left field. Erlen Serta is at second base. And the Indians all spread out. Split squad up in Las Vegas playing the Cubs. And young Wakamatsu starts a double play. And it's a successful one, 6-4-3.
That was about as routine as it gets. Nice little two-hopper. Trying to protect the plate and didn't have to move. Easy double play.
Walk, if you're watching, the kid done good there. Taylor Mutter, walk and a fly to left. Matter of fact, we will see Don on the first road trip. Mariners go San Francisco, Minnesota, Kansas City after we open up the season at home against the Indians. Mariners, not much offense today. 3 runs on 4 hits. Mike Clevenger, very strong today. 1 and 2 to Motter. Clevenger 4 1/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. One-two pitch. Yan Gomes still in there, catcher for the Indians.
Looks like Edwin Diaz will pitch the top of the 7th inning. He's getting loose in the pen.
Ball 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Two and 2 to Motter. Motter, Gordon Beckham, and Andrew Romine. Heck of a battle. The utility spot on this ball club a few days ago. Romine injured his shoulder, applying a tag on a runner going from 2nd to 3rd. That is going to go foul.
You were saying there was a chance that he could be in the lineup on Wednesday?
Yeah, he could be back available on Wednesday. Again, I thought, wave home to the folks back in the Northwest. I thought after the injuries that the Mariners had seen last year, I thought that clock had been punched and they'd leave us alone for a while, you know?
Well, hopefully it'll just be the spring.
Now ball down to 3rd. Motter's retired. Mariners are gone in the 6th. Cleveland 11-3 in front. Here at the ballpark, 11-3, Indians on top of the Mariners, and it is a pleasure to welcome in a guy who was once a vendor at Fenway Park, a PR intern, a radio producer, and a Yankee PR guy. He's now the president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, Jeff Idelson. Good to see you, Jeff. Long time. How you been, pal?
I've been good. Always good to see you, David.
One of the things we wanted to talk to you about is some of the things that you guys have Mariner related in the Hall of Fame, and you have a lot, and a lot of it since Mike and I have been broadcasting.
Yeah, no, I mean the players on the have been so good to us over the years. You know, the right fielder you got back is, thank God, he's got like half the building as it is now.
Talking about Ichiro, and I always, isn't he the one that would go up, make multiple visits unannounced?
Yeah, he's been there 7 times to Cooperstown now.
Right.
Every time under the radar. He comes in November when it's quiet, and he's into the history. I mean, he really loves it.
That's impressive. What else do you have from Ichiro?
My goodness, you know, starting with when he came up with the Mariners, we have a couple of bats from that season when he was Rookie of the Year and MVP. In 04, you know, when he set the single season hit mark, pretty much gave us everything. And
wow.
It just, you know, the records keep piling up. 3,000 hits. What do you need? You know, that kind of thing. He's also pledged everything. Tom Seaver, Hank Aaron, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, and Ichiro are the 5 players who have pledged or given everything to the Hall of Fame that they used in their career.
You know, I was looking at a list of things when Dave was mentioning the Mariners, and a couple of things. One, when you have something like Robinson Cano in the All-Star game from last year, and you have the MVP, and then they have the 5 starters that lasted all year, which never happens. I think, what year was that, Dave? Was that 2003?
With the Mariners, yeah.
And you get things like that. Do you keep it forever, or does some of it there just part-time, or how does it work?
No, you know, when guys donate stuff, it's meant to be forever, because not every fan's going to come up in like the next 6 months, and you don't want to have somebody say, "My God, I was at that game that, you know, Robbie, you know, hit a couple home runs, and I know his bat's there." So, you know, usually with the players, it's about donating something, and it's there for good.
Were you surprised that Edgar didn't get in? Let's get to it.
Well, he hasn't gotten in yet.
A little bit.
Yeah,
he hasn't gotten in yet. Look, he's trending in the right way, and he made a pretty meteoric leap last year, which has really positioned him really nicely. He's up, what, 71%, which is a very good number. And don't have a vote. I know how I feel, and we'll see how the chips roll, but how things roll out. But you know, he's teed up pretty good and looking good for next year.
He explained that he hasn't been able to get in with the numbers. I mean, I talked to Tim Belcher over here. He pitched against him, and he said, "You got to be kidding me. He should be in the Hall of Fame."
Well, you know, it's subjective, the voting, and you've got guys that have seen him and ladies who have seen him play and not seen him play, and I think maybe it's just taking time to appreciate what he's done. And you know, the numbers don't change, we know, but the couple, you know, with guys like him, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the appreciation to be there. But, you know, if that day comes, and you know, I feel pretty good that it should. I mean, his plaque is going to explain why he belongs.
Yeah. Who are some of the guys, the first timers that are coming up eligible for next year's presentation?
The 3 big names next year. You got Mariano Rivera. You got Roy Halladay, who's, I was looking at him, he's almost 100 games over 500, and Todd Helton out in Colorado.
And Roy's kid pitched for Team Canada against the Blue Jays, I think, 2 days ago. That was a terrible loss that we suffered.
Yeah, he was in Cooperstown in August with his son, and he was in my office, and we have the Hall of Fame Classic coming up in May, and he was primed to represent the Phillies. He was going to come back, and it's just sad. What a great credit to the game he was on and off the field.
No question. Jeff Idelson, president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, with us here in Peoria. What kind of stuff did Mr. Griffey donate to you?
Ken's great over the years. I mean, you know, the 50 homer seasons, we have a couple of his bats. We have a jersey from Cincinnati, and 3 or 4 other pieces that really help tell the story. And he's, boy, oh boy, he's been a great Hall of Famer. He loves the company he keeps, I think, in Cooperstown, and slots in quite nicely.
You know,
what was the party like when he was there?
What's that?
What was the party like when he was there? It looked like a lot of fun.
Oh, the Mariners know how to throw a party, as you know. If you come to spring training in Seattle, or you see the club at home, they know how to do it right. And the Mariners put together a beautiful party. It was great.
And I always got a kick when I first met Junior when I got here, and he's on first name and speed dial with Willie and Hank and all those guys too. I think that must have been. They must have been very happy for him as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He
great play.
Oh, nice play. Keep it right here.
It's just a matter of what kind of percentage he was going to get or how he was going to do, not if or when. And you know, people say, "Are you annoyed he missed by 3 votes?" I really don't care. I mean, you know, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, any of these guys are not going to be unanimous. It's subjective. It's the way it is, and it shows that the process is a democracy. You know, you can't understand or agree with why guys wouldn't vote for him, but they have that prerogative.
Wow. Unbelievable. We'll take a break and be right back with Jeff Idelson in the Hall of Fame right after this. Seventh in Peoria, Jeff Idelson, president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. What's your favorite part of the Hall of Fame? I've been there in a while. I mean, it's a wonderful place. But what's your favorite part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great because we're always evolving, and I like our Latino exhibit called Viva Baseball, which really introduces fans that don't know much about the game outside of America, how it's played, and the influence players from those countries have had here in the U.S. And I think that it's our first bilingual exhibit, and it's more and more guys. You look at, Edgar and Mariano and Omar and David Ortiz and who we already have in. I mean, it kind of helps put us into that place where we need to be with fans.
I want to ask you a question. Was that one of your magazines? There was an article recently about Clyde Sukeforth and how he got Jackie with his role in signing Jackie Robinson, and how he saw Clemente and they eventually lost Clemente.
Yeah, no, that's Clyde was an interesting character. I mean, he had those two things that went on, and then he also was the Giants or the Dodgers bullpen coach.
And he said, who was it? Somebody had.
He said, he said
Erskine had bounced one, and
he said Erskine bounced in his curveball and put in Branca.
Right.
And then he also ends up in Norman Rockwell's 3 umpire paintings because he was Bert Schotten's bench coach. Bert Schotten managed in street clothes.
At 48,
47, 48.
Yeah.
And the day Rockwell goes to Ebbets Field, here comes Clyde Sukeforth, who had 10 home runs in the majors, and he ends up in the most famous baseball painting ever.
It's amazing.
So you get these things, and they're there forever. I think the last time that I was there was in '95. You obviously have to expand, right? Need more rooms to put things in. Has that been happening? What's it like there?
Yeah, no, we've had a couple of nice expansions, Mike, and the place is in good shape. We have a really robust archive, which you need to have because we have exhibits and lend artifacts out. We have about 30 different museums we're partnering with, so it allows us to share baseball with other audiences and other kinds of museums. So yeah, it's pretty good.
You talked about the game that's coming up. Big success last year, right? Yeah,
Hall of Fame Classic over Memorial Day weekend. One player from each of the 30 clubs comes in, 6 Hall of Famers manage and coach, and for a town that's steeped in history and tradition like Cooperstown is, that kind of a game is a lot of fun, and the players who come in love coming in.
We get the chance to see all the guys on TV, when you're having the inductions and all those things, and everybody up on the stage, and it's really cool. And you mentioned Ichiro, or anybody else come to mind that maybe comes in at a different time during the year as opposed to just when the big party is, to check things out, or maybe has questions or something like that?
Yeah, there are guys that would, there are a lot of guys that would come up outside of the season. I mean, Ichiro is obviously more so than anyone ever, but, Kurt Schilling was big into the history. He was up 3 or 4 times since I've been there. Mike Witt came up a couple times with his kids. You never know who's going to roll in.
Applin with a line drive to center. Is retired, one away. the Negro League exhibit, what types of things do you have up there in that regard?
Yeah, that's a great exhibit, and what we do in that space is kind of show kids the parallels between U.S. history and baseball history, and to show where baseball is really out ahead of the curve in a lot of ways with integration. But talk about the Negro Leagues and the role that they played during World War II and before, and how they came apart at the seams when integration occurred. But yeah, for a 30-year period, the Negro Leagues was pretty strong, and a lot of great players from the Negro Leagues elected to the Hall of Fame over time.
Do you have a favorite thing?
A favorite piece in the museum?
Yeah. Any one thing in particular that is really cool for you?
The one, one of the really cool pieces for me is we have a Babe Ruth bat, 1927 season. He hit 60 home runs, and he out-homered every National League team and all but 3 American League teams. And we have and back then you could do what you want with equipment a little bit. So every time he homered, he had a penknife and he put a little notch around the trademark. This bat has 28 notches. So it's amazing because it talks about the history of that season, Mike, but it's also he had 28 jacks with 1 bat, which is just unbelievable, too.
Right.
That's amazing.
And is that the one you make people put the gloves on to touch?
That's on display now, but you got to wear gloves to touch anything that we have.
Yeah. Wow. How about, you mentioned Mariano is one of the new guys, newly eligible guys. Do you have a lot of his stuff in there? Because certainly with that career he had, my goodness.
Yeah, no, we have plenty from Mo, and always generous, always happy to give us an artifact when we asked. And, when he was retiring, he said, "Do I really, why 5 years?" I said, "Well, you might come back." He said, "I'm not coming back. Let's do this next year." I was like, no, you might come back. It's 5 years, buddy. Everyone else waited 5.
Yeah, in my mind's eye, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but I mean, you have your system. I understand it, but boy, he's such an automatic, you would think.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not vote for him? How do you not vote for Jeter? A couple of these other guys coming up.
Yeah, I think the little waiting period isn't the worst thing. I mean, it allows the guy's career to end. It allows people to sort of appreciate it a little bit more. But you're right. I mean, there are guys that are going to be no-brainers, but there are plenty that aren't no-brainers. So,
right.
System seems to work well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Ball and 2 strikes. Nobody on here. An 11-3 Cleveland game.
6 players going in this year. Biggest class since 1971 of just players, and you get 2.
Jack and Tram.
Jack and Tram. You get the corner infielders with with Chipper and Jim Thome, and and then you got Vladdy and Wright, and you got your closer Trevor Hoffman.
That's a good crew.
It's a pretty good group. We had a pretty good offseason.
Do you limit them how long they're going to be on stage?
Well, we suggest how long they should be on stage. I don't know how much I can limit, but no, we talk about it. Look, I mean, giving a speech is not natural. It's not like standing in front of your locker. It's not like anything you've ever experienced. And you turn around and you got 55 Hall of Famers behind you and 50,000 people in front of you, and you try to set the tone and explain that, look, 8-10 minutes is, you lose people after that. People just don't pay attention, but it's hard when you're up there and you get one shot and you're nervous. I mean, Pudge came up with a completely prepared notebook.
Goodness.
He looked down, he looked up, and that was it.
Yeah.
He was out there.
Yeah.
The thing,
I can't even imagine.
There's so much I like about what you guys do, but I get such a charge out of watching the intros and these guys coming in. It's like, are you kidding? I mean, Tom Seaver, Sandy Koufax. I mean, it's fabulous.
It's your baseball cards coming to life.
You got it. Jeff, pleasure as always, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mike.
Jeff Idelson, president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, will return in a moment.
No,
lead for the Cleveland Indians. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Lake Pleasant down here in Arizona. Beautiful sight on a lovely Sunday afternoon. Very pleasant temperatures in the high 60s. Mitch Longo is going to lead off against the Mariners' new pitcher, Ryan Cook. And when we spoke earlier in the broadcast with Brian DeLunas, new bullpen coach, he had a lot of good things to say about Ryan Cook, who's missed all of last year, fighting his way back, trying to get back to all-star form that he had back in 2012 with the Athletics. The other thing that Brian talked about, he's throwing a fastball, let it go. No holding back.
Well, so far this spring, his velocity's been 94, so that's a pretty good fastball. He's touched 95 a couple of times.
He's behind here to Mitch Longo, 3-0. Tribe did a lot of damage early in the game against Rob Whalen. A run in the third, 3 in the second, 7 in the third. Grand slam by Yan Gomes is Cook back with a strike. Cook, a quick worker, 3-1. Breaking ball missed, walked him. So that was Mitch Longo. Trey Gant, he entered the game as a pinch runner back in the 6th. Ball 1. Brian Cook, 0-0 record, 5.40 ERA in 5 games. We'll struggle right now, trying to find that strike zone, 2-0. Cook's last appearance 3 days ago against the A's. Sharply hit through the whole base hit. Couple of men aboard here for Cleveland. Erlen Serta. Is the hitter, the second baseman. This is a minor leaguer getting a chance to swing the bat up here in the big league game.
Let's see if Ryan can work ahead.
Ball 1.
Yeah, 9 pitches, just 1 strike from him so far.
Up the middle, base hit. Longo coming around. He'll score. Make it 12-3. Cleveland, Serta with an RBI.
Well, he missed with the first pitch, and then he gets a fastball in the middle of the plate. It's right back up the middle. Saw some of that with Rob Whalen today, struggling, falling behind, and hitters taking advantage of it.
After go switch is the Mariners' new catcher. Mariner runs today, a 2-run single. Zach Vinci in the second. Kyle Seager, RBI, single to right in the 5th inning. It's a foul ball. Count at 1-1. Don't forget, get those tickets. Opening night against Cleveland Indians, March 29th. We'll be off on Friday. Then Saturday at 1:10, Sunday at 1:10. Mariners then go on the road, San Francisco, Minnesota, KC, and then come home for Oakland and the world champion Houston Astros. One pitch. There's foul. Good time being had by many out there. Have a little catch with the tennis ball. Crowd's thinned out a little bit on the berm, but when we started back at 1:11, good crowd out there.
Yeah, it was packed. Good day for it.
Here's 1-2. Got him a chase. He did that out. Ryan Cook out of Clovis, California. Drafted by the D-backs, 27th round back in 08.
Gets in the chase, a breaking ball in the dirt. Nice job by Tuffy to keep it in front of him. A lot of bite to that breaking ball.
Here's Luke Wakamatsu. Son of the former Mariner manager, now bench coach in Kansas City. Luke coming off an injured right shoulder last year. Surgery last July, missed the rest of the season. Lake County before the injury, 239 hitter. The switch hitter, 6'3", 185. Had a little bit of pop, 12 home runs in 100 games last year.
Yeah, big kid.
Drove in 53 runs. And how about this? Rated the 91st best prospect in MLB.com's top 200 entering the 2015 draft. I remember talking to Don when he was here, talking about his athletic career. He and Jack Del Rio was recently fired. Where was Jack most recently to coach? It wasn't Minnesota. It was Jacksonville, I think it was, a year or two ago. No, the Raiders. The Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah.
And they competed, I think, with and against each other. Grew up in the same Bay Area, neighborhood in the Bay Area. Pretty good talent right there.
I would say so.
3-2 to young Wakamatsu. One out, runners at first and second. And Cook struggling. Second walk, bases are loaded.
Well, looks like Mel's going to make a trip out to the mound. Have a conversation with him.
Nice leisurely Sunday here in Peoria, Arizona. Get the blanket out, get out on the berm. Sunshine, it's not a broiling sun, but it's certainly comfortable. A little breeze. It's swirling as it has done most of the time since we've been down here.
I think it's supposed to be 75 tomorrow and then 80. A little bit warmer this week.
Gets at the top of the order. The plate umpire Lance Barrett just held up his fingers. I think the amount of visits looked like he held up. That they were. It looked like 5 or 6. I couldn't really tell.
I think it was 6.
Yeah.
I think there's enough visits for the day.
Get used to it, boys. Yep, we're all going to have to get used to that. Cookie's having a tough go here. One in the dirt. Good stop by Tuffy. Two and one. To Clark Scolamiero. Two-one pitch. 3-1. Boy, he's all over the place. Three-one pitch. Walked him. Wow.
Yeah, he is really struggling today.
He does not have it. Third walk, forces in a run. That's an RBI for Scolamiero.
And Scott Service on his way out to the mound, so that's going to be it.
Good pitcher coming in for the Mariners. Back in a few. Indians. These guys nonetheless having a great time out on the berm. Here's a reminder that on Friday, May 4th, Star Wars night at Safeco Field when the Mariners face the Angels. First 20,000 fans will receive a Han Solo bobblehead featuring the Mariners' third baseman. Tell you what, the new batch of commercials that have come out, the one with the hair flip with Ben Gamble.
I haven't seen that one.
Kyle Seeger gives some of the best deadpan looks you've ever seen in your life.
No surprise.
He is.
No surprise.
So I asked him about it the other day, and Gamble said, no, just be Kyle. Just look stupid. He said, yeah, I can do that. That's not nice. All right, Kyle's got an unbelievable, he's got a great sense of humor. Seth Elledge takes over. 21-year-old out of Frisco, Texas, 6'3", 230. Fourth-round pick. Last year in the draft, 123rd overall. 4 games at Everett, 0-0, a 4.50 ERA. 15 games at Clinton, 3-0 with a 3.0 ERA.
Good fastball at 93 miles an hour. You can get a double play. Get out of the inning.
Strike two. Tribe sent a lot of guys to the plate. 9 in the second, 10 in the third. This is the 7th batter here in the 8th inning. Two and two the count. Ryan Hannigan, the hitter. Two and two. Infield set for a double play. Full count. Here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Got him out. It's a big one. Duffy holds on to the tip. 2 away. And that'll bring up Trenton Brooks.
I'll take your spot.
Trenton Brooks. Ball 1. Mariners may be taking it on the short end right here, but the good news, Wednesday, with the day off on Tuesday, Wednesday, Cano, Cruz, and Ichiro expected to be back in the starting lineup. I have the game for you tomorrow on radio, the Mariners Radio Network. We played the Angels twice, have not seen Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani. So to be curious in our final look at them before the regular season play tomorrow at 6:10 start time, if they'll be playing over at their home field. 1-1. Man, that didn't have a chance. They'll play to run. 14-3. Wild pitch. Everybody else moves up. $14 runs on 15 hits, 1 error by Cleveland. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors made by the Mariners. Little blooper.
Trouble.
Yep, right in the old triangle. That'll plate 2. 2 more runs. Trenton Brooks, couple of RBIs.
What about due for one of these kind of games here in the spring?
Get it out of our system.
Yeah.
Check the box. Good grief. 9th player coming to the plate here. This is Anthony Miller. Now, the other day when Angels came in, they lost somebody 18-6. That was a game where Ohtani got lit up. Ninth man to the plate here in the 8th inning. Point 2. Big innings. 7-run third, a 5-run 8th.
Well, when you go back and you look at the game, it all comes down to a lack of command in those innings. Guys that are struggling. Spring training, just, we're talking about Whalen. He's really been throwing the ball well. Cook has had a nice spring, but for whatever reason, today was their day to struggle, and you're not going to get away with it down here.
Nicasio went 1-2-3. Edwin Diaz went 1-2-3. Nick Vincent got a couple of flyouts, gave up a base hit, and then ended it with a ground out. They got their jobs done quite well. Ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out, inning over. 5 runs on the board for the Tribe. They lead 16-3.
Wednesday at 6:30.
A Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano bottle stopper, and they're going to be giving those away May 25th against the Twins. I don't really know what that's for. I mean, bottle stoppers, wine stoppers, those are for quitters.
Keep the flies out.
Yeah, finish that bottle.
Yeah,
no need for that. All right, hi everybody. Angie Mentic here along with Ryan Rowland-Smith. And as this game, it's an ugly score right now for the Mariners, no doubt about it. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about guys that have impressed you this spring. Taylor Motter, the Mariners kind of know what they have with this guy, but guys like Gordon Beckham and Andrew Romine, we saw Gordon Beckham last year, but they want to get a better idea of what they really have with these guys.
Yeah, they do, and that's an interesting battle that's going on right now, that utility role, which is such a valuable role, on the 25-man roster. And Taylor Motter and Andrew Romine do have the leg up because they can play in the outfield. They can play first base, they can play middle infield, but Gordon Beckham hasn't really spent too much time at all, in the outfield. But Taylor Motter, the one guy in that group, he's impressed me enough this spring training where he had a bit of a black hole in 2017, and that was down and away. He tried to pull everything, just spinning off every pitch down and away, and you get exposed at this level. Right, this spring training, he's really been working hard to hit the ball to all fields and hit the ball the other way, and you can see it, the batting average as of now, 327.
Yeah, I don't understand why we don't see that happen more often and earlier. I mean, Mike Zunino, it's the same adjustment. Yeah. Being able to hit the ball away, and it's good to see Taylor Motter do that. Let's bring in Mike Blowers. Andrew Romine, unfortunately, with this injury to his shoulder, he's kind of losing out on chances to make an impression, Mike.
Yeah, I think he's going to be back. It sounds like he'll be able to play on Wednesday, so he's not going to miss a lot of time in it, but it's going to be a real battle, I think, for that position. When you talk about guys that have surprised me, one of them is standing on deck right now, and Daniel Vogelback. I just think the difference that he has made and the way that he looks and the confidence he's playing with is nowhere near what we saw from him last year. Last year, he was pretty passive at the plate, taking a lot of pitches, getting himself into trouble, and he has been swinging at this spring, and he seems to be a man on a mission. So I'm happy for him. And then Marco Gonzalez, look, with the injuries they've had to their pitching, They need somebody to step up. And Marco, for me, was somebody in the wintertime that I looked at because of his age, because he's a former first-round pick, coming off a Tommy John surgery, a year removed from that. I just felt like he's a guy that could really have an impact on this club. And so on the pitching side, I'd probably look towards Marco, but Daniel's really had a great spring.
Yeah, Daniel Vogelbach just looks like a different player at the plate. And we had heard so much about his hitting, and then we just didn't see it at the major league level. I mean, he looks like he was just looking to walk.
Yeah, there's a comfort level for him right now in all his at-bats. I feel like any count, he can still do damage. And there's that, he's having that ability right now just to let the game come to him. It's tough when you're in a situation like he was when he first came over, and even last year. Yeah, you want to turn it on right away. You want to impress people right away, and he was pressing a lot. Now I feel like he's got nothing to lose, so to speak, in this spring training, and it's showing. He looks so comfortable. He's relaxed. He's got the skip messing around with him in interviews yesterday, so he's having a good time.
Daniel Vogelbach and Mike Ford, both guys over there at first base. Mike Ford is a Rule 5 guy. How does that help him, and how does that hurt him?
Yeah.
You know about this, Ryan.
I do. I was a Rule 5 pick when I was around 21 years old with the Minnesota Twins. A situation where, you know, the one team you're with doesn't want to put you on that 40-man roster, so all of a sudden you're eligible. So it's a tough one because it's all or nothing, and you really have to come out and impress. And, you know, whether it helps him or it's a disadvantage, at this point in camp, when you see the guy coming to the plate right now, Daniel Vogelbach, it's a disadvantage because they have to make a big move. They can't just option him down. He either has to make that 25-man roster. You can't sneak him on, onto the bench because you have so much. You do have that depth on the bench right now. So it could, to me, I think it's a disadvantage at this point.
One guy I want to touch on and get both Dave and Mike your thoughts on him. Obviously, he's not going to make the Major League club, but Braden Bishop. Hitting 400. Of course, he has his hits to end Alzheimer's. He's got 10, including a double and a triple. But just your impression as you've gotten to see him play a little bit more. Dave?
I tell you what, he can run. I like the way he slashes the baseball. He's hitting at 400, as you mentioned, and he can cover some ground in the outfield. It's pretty impressive.
I think Angie mentioned him, University of Washington, by the way.
Yeah,
I did not say that. I didn't bring it up, but I'm glad you did, Mike.
It's perfectly fine. I'm good with it. He's somebody that at the beginning of spring training, I took notice of because I remember him from last year, and he could really play defense. There's another hit for Daniel. I'm being aggressive again. But the thing that I like for him is he made some adjustments, and he said that basically because he can run, what he'd done in the past is just try to slap the ball around, keep it on the ground, and beat out infield hits. And last year he decided that he was going to try to hit the ball hard and drive the baseball, and his numbers jumped up. So he's really turned himself into a prospect with the organization. I talked to a couple of people from the front office, and they like him a lot. So he's definitely on the radar, and he's made an impact, as you mentioned, Angie, just having a really good spring again. So Scott Service certainly knows his name and what he's about.
Excellent, guys. And again, we can't say enough about what he's doing out in the community. And I mean, generally, you see that kind of stuff from more of a veteran. But this guy already at the tender age to start this, and so many other players are getting involved with this too.
Dario Pisano is the hitter right now. You're right, Ange. No question. It's good stuff. It really is. So Dario Pisano get a chance to swing. Two down with a man aboard. Bottom of the eighth. Well, if you're a young kid off the bench getting into a late game blowout, you better swing the bat. Let's be honest. Swing the bat. He's not giving you anything. Seen that pretty much in all these games down here.
Crowd the plate and get after it.
Absolutely. Stand there picture taking.
Yeah.
Left field. Catch made out there by Gant. Side retired. Ninth inning coming up. 16-3 Cleveland.
So, yeah.
To have you ladies with us. 16-3, the Indians top of the ninth. A new member of the Flo brothers? No, it's Gary Hill wearing the radio producer engineer, modeling the cap that will be given away on April 13th against the A's. It's Ben Campbell.
Gary likes it. I think Gary really likes it. Yeah, there you go.
Way to go, Gary. Gary, new addition to our broadcast team, full-time member now as our radio producer engineer and play-by-play guy. Does a great job. Great to have him with him, replacing Kevin Kremen, who did 35 years with the ball club. Slicing line drive, left field, one down. Mitch Longo retired. That'll bring up Trey Gant. Singled and scored back in the eighth. 9 men to the plate. And the Cleveland eighth inning. He scored 5 times. I would say word to the wise for both squads. Largely young kids playing right now. Lance Barrett behind the home plate. Got a nice meal waiting for him.
Veteran umpire.
Swing the bat. Certain realities in baseball, that's one of them. Yeah, like you said, veteran guy too, yeah. Right? Young man. Here's the 0-2 pitch. So a good look.
Michael Koval.
Yes, indeed. Base hit up the middle. Michael's 22 years old, turns 23 in April 20th, from Upland, California. 6'1", 180 last year at Clinton. 4-6 with a 2.84 ERA, 40 games.
Oh, good ERA.
73 innings, 65 strikeouts, 21 walks. Gave up 3 home runs. 11th round pick back in 2016. Popped up, left fielders got to play Andrew Applin.
And they switched him up on the Applin is in center field. That's Bo Amaral in left.
Ah, there we go. 2 down. Alexis Pantoja. 2 outs, 1 on. Two away, top of the ninth. Ground ball right side, Vogelback beats Koval, and that'll do it. Last stops for the Mariners in the home ninth at 16-3 Cleveland.
for Mariners spring training coverage. Tune in Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific to catch the Mariners taking on the Brewers in Cactus League action. Root Sports, your home for Mariners baseball all season long. Dave?
All right, thank you, Angie. Carlos Frias takes over on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. Mariners down to their last 3 outs, 16-3 Cleveland. Tribe with a run in the first, 3 in the second, 7 in the third, 5 in the 8th. Next telecast will be right here in Peoria. Wednesday against Milwaukee. Thursday here against Texas. Tomorrow night's game will be on radio. Mariners take on the Angels over Tempe Diablo Stadium. Pastime be the hitter. Switch looks at a strike, 1-1.
His fans have hung around.
Glad to see their guy. A few hours deep into this one. Outside from Frias. Frias has had a couple of cups of coffee with the Dodgers in 14, 15, and 16. Last year at Columbus, 1-1 in 30 games, 8.05 ERA. There's a base hit. He delivers for them, for his fans. Leadoff single.
Gets a fastball above the belt, line drive into left field. They will get on top of the fastball. 92 miles an hour.
Tuffy Goswitch, his 5th hit of the spring. 5 for 22 now. Eugene Helder. Helder looks at ball 1. Eugene Helder out of Arnstead in Aruba. 5'11", 165, non-drafted free agent back in late October of 2013. 5 games last year with Tacoma. 3 for 18. Started the season last year at Everett, hit .304 in 70 games. Three balls, 1 strike. See if you can turn it loose here. 3-1. Up the middle, base hit. This brings up Andrew Applin.
Talked about it a lot on the Cleveland side of things today, but you can see it right there. Pitcher struggling with his command, getting the hitters counts. How quick the infield is. That ground ball looked like it was a routine ground ball, but gets into center field easily because you're more aggressive with your swing.
Strike 1. The base hit, the 7th by the Mariners today. Fouled off 0-2. Applin, 0-2 count coming, 0-2 pitch coming with 2 on, nobody out. Breeze blowing out strong to left field now. 1-2 pitch. Was ahead, now he's even 2-2. Two pitch. Carlos Frias. Take a long time. Breaking ball popped up. Third carom, a guy ends up with a souvenir.
Yeah, things have thinned out since the start of the game.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think that 5 spot in the 8th had a lot to do with it.
Probably.
Foul ball. I salute these diehards who stay to the bitter end in what is a 16-3 score.
Well, a little sunshine. Nice seat out on the berm.
All right, we catch on the air again.
Taylor made double play. 2 down. Two away. Gosewicz goes to third. Second, let's see, 1, 2, third double play. Turned by the Tribe. All 3 have been 6-4-3 variety.
Bryson Brigman stepping in.
So Brigman 0 for 3 in the spring. Bouncing ball. Third baseman takes it, flips over, and that is your ball game. 16-3. The Tribe wins it. Cleveland now 14-10-2. The Mariners 11-13-1.
Tough day for Rob Whalen. It really pitched well throughout the spring, but just didn't have it this afternoon. The good news for the Mariners, some guys that you're going to see a lot this year out of the bullpen, Nicasio, Vincent Diaz, all really threw the ball well.
Talk to you on Tuesday on TV. Talk to you on radio tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for joining us here on Root Sports. Mike Flowers and our entire crew. I'm Dave Sims. So long from Peoria.
It's time